mean, look, I am a person who believes that he is unfit for the role of FBI director, and I have concerns about how he will behave in the role and, leading the nation's premier law enforcement agency.
And so you stand by your criticism of Kash Patel?
I absolutely do.
Even if they have this letter saying you've got to retract all this, you're not going to do that?
Yeah, I'm not going to retract from telling the truth.
Yeah! I love her.
Olivia Troy, hero of democracy. I think Bob Siska just announced that segment. I'm going to steal that from him. We've been exchanging bodily fluids since 1904. Heroes of democracy. All right, Bob, I won't steal it. Olivia Troy, yay!
Yes, I love
for
her.
That's what modeling courage looks like. Harry Littman, come on down. He will join us on Monday. He quit his LA Times piece rather because of this caving and kissing the ring and sucking up to Donald Trump, right? He will, where is he? He will be on the show Monday morning. Senior LA Times legal columnist Harry Littman, our buddy, our pal, our legal lad, blasted his ex-employer after the billionaire owner made a series of editorial decisions favorable to Trump that included spiking the endorsement of Kamala Harris before the election. Chris, who said, gosh, it gets easier and easier. It's like the opposite of, what's that thing? Connections.
I didn't get
It gets easier and easier,
today.
and he still gets it wrong.
Oh, I only missed one.
Wow.
Connections.
I got to the third one, but then I didn't get the last one.
Why can I not hear? That's a new problem. By the way, can we say thank you to the fine Americans, Chris Lavoie and
What?
Jody Hamilton, for getting us through yesterday's show with some technical difficulties, which some of which are ongoing. That thing over there, and I can't hear Jody's microphone. Okay, not
She's
working.
going out. She's on the air.
I'm
so,
on the air.
yeah,
I mean, I
it's
can
something
see
with
the
your amp.
waveform.
Something with the special amp we have to have
I
for
can
you.
hear you fine. Okay, wouldn't be a day without something. Okay, have I mentioned that funding progressive infrastructure might be an important thing going forward? Okay, we won't. That's just my little,
support our sponsors.
my little hobby horse.
Yeah.
Clappity, 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 clap. Okay, who said, I have written my last op-ed for the Times. Yesterday, I resigned my position. I don't want to continue to work for a paper that is appeasing Trump and facilitating his assault on democratic rule for craven reasons. Who said that?
Simon Bar Sinister.
No, I just told you, Harry Littman,
Right.
our legal lad. Who
Yeah.
joins us.
He doesn't
Whatever,
listen.
silent Bob.
He doesn't
Okay,
listen.
what's...
Should I just start signing to you?
Can't hear a word she's saying. Okay, papers have such an important role to play now, and in this country, Trump has captured the political arena, maybe the Supreme Court. He's going after now the FBI, potentially the military, and really, they're one of the institutions to be able to stand up and push back, and it's in the finest tradition. Trump has made clear he will go after that, and that's an absolute five-alarm fire.
Sweet Polly Purebred.
No, that was Harry Littman. I believe yesterday, actually, on my Nicole Wallace, who said the Times has decided to curry favor with Trump, and I just think this is not a time for balance when you have someone who's not telling the truth on the other side, and it's a deep responsibility. And instead, I think they cowered. They are worried about their personal holdings and just being threatened by Trump, and that's really a shameful capitulation, I think. So I just felt I couldn't be part of it, and I had to resign. Who said that?
Mild-mannered shoeshine boy.
No, Harry Littman, one of our heroes of democracy.
That was a bad round.
Yeah, wow, that was particularly bad, especially since I set up who it was.
I
All
got
right.
mo-
Good morning.
I did better on connections than I did on Guess the Quote this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Last two remaining Morning Joe viewers.
Joe and Mika were not on
Yeah,
today.
no,
They were not on. Ooh,
And
this
there
is-
was no
oh,
explanation.
The plot thickens. They were not there. Really? So that did not get their audience back? The whining and shouting and playing victim for
I can't
20
believe
minutes?
I can't believe their producers let him get away with that.
They stamped their
22
feet.
minutes of
Stamped their
shouting and screaming and playing victim. Oh my God. Oh, David Frum, hero of democracy. He is right. He wrote the piece about, and first of all, Chris, I said this to you. There is nothing more humiliating on live TV than having someone apologize for you.
Right.
For something you said on your behalf, which I told you, Baby Buchanan did that way. She apologized to Oliver North in front of me on my behalf. I'm like, no. I speak for myself. I'm the co-host of this show, right? And that's what David Frum said. It's my face. It's my name on the Chiron. He makes, a joke about Fox News, and we're all pearl clutchy bedwetty.
I know.
He said, if you're too drunk for Fox News, you're very drunk indeed, which was funny. Everybody laughed at the time. And so then Mika apologizes because, oh, God forbid.
She
and so
clutched her
she
pearls.
writes a piece. He writes a piece which was dead on, right on the money about, the climate of fear that
Yeah.
obviously caused them to go kiss the ring. And Joe Scott, what did he whine yesterday? Oh, it's not fear, it's civility.
No.
Oh, really? Do you think everybody on Fox is civil to you? Do you know what they say about MSNBC and about MSNBC, anchors on Fox? Right. I'm like, oh, please. This is part of the bringing a butter knife to a or
That's right.
spoon to a
What?
something. Knife fight.
A
Gun
knife,
fight.
a knife
gunfight.
to a gunfight.
Right, that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Did they ever make Danny Bonaducci apologize for something that you had previously said?
No, I think it was a given,
Oh.
and that I wasn't there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, something is going down at MSNBC. I tell you what. You know what? I'm going to take total credit for it also because you know what? Lawrence O'Donnell thanked me for saving him because remember they were going to get rid of him and we had such a Steph-head uprising. And this time, I'm just saying, yeah, that was weird. So, and they had invited David Frum back on. NBC even put out a statement yesterday inviting him back on today. So I don't know whether he refused. We're going to have him on shortly, but he doesn't want to talk about this.
No, he doesn't.
But anyway, so he I don't know whether he declined to come back on, but then no Joe and Mika today and no explanation at all. No,
Nothing.
yeah, were they? Because I know they were shocked at the backlash of them, sticking their tongue up Trump's. Were they shocked at this? That the people did not enjoy their 22 minutes of ranting and whining
They have
and
often
shouting and
taken Fridays off though, and have had Jonathan Lemire and Willie Geist filling.
But this was a big deal.
Right, I know-
Scarborough
I know
said
it
it on
was a
the
big
air
deal.
that he
Right,
invited
right.
David Frum back
I'm
on
just
this
saying
morning,
that
and NBC put
it's-
out a
right.
statement saying David Frum is invited back on tomorrow. So
Just saying it's not unheard of for them to take a Friday off unannounced.
whatever, excuse her.
Well, I'm not excusing anybody. I'm just saying.
I'm going to take total credit as a hero of democracy. Okay, but just David, interestingly, said a lot of stuff in his piece that I've been saying every day about essentially, that cowardice is contagious and so is courage. Let's model courage in whatever, way that we can. Look at Olivia Troy. Look at Harry Littman. You can take a stand, and that's going to empower other people. They fascists count on us cowering in fear and on us all and what do you think it does, as I keep saying, when the white multimillionaires are scared? That models incredible cowardice for the rest of us to go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, if they're scared, I guess I better shut up, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to turn this shut up cannon on myself. We've had more guesses on the take your line of bull to the 5 and dime. Okay. That are all wrong. Wrong. That's the only certainty right now in Trump's America. We will die never knowing who said that.
I think so. I've come to terms with that.
Yeah. Everyone swears it's Katie Seagal, but I don't know
I don't
from
think
what.
so.
Yeah.
It's either
Or Allison Janney.
Or Allison Janney. It's either one of those two women.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that certainly narrows it down.
Yeah, because they've done
Particularly
nothing.
since
no
Allison
work.
Janney is in every movie and television show that has ever been made.
Hasn't Allison Janney been asked if she said that by someone we know?
Well, we told Carol Burnett to ask her when they were doing
Oh.
Palm whatever.
Royale,
Carol Burnett falling down on the job.
Palm, whatever.
Royale.
Royale.
Yeah. It's coming back, right?
Yeah, they're shooting right now.
Fantastic. Oh, good.
Isn't it take your host to work day someday?
No.
Take your host to the set day?
No.
No,
All right.
that's
fine.
not a thing.
Fine. Okay. Oh, look at this. Huh. Michael and Fred tweet, U.S. shoppers spent $10.8 billion on Black Friday and then $13.3 billion online on Cyber Monday, a 10% increase over last year. It was always the hate. Thank you. This guy, by the way, I know it's going to be, you're going to need that no, don't speak thing for me many times over the next, because how hard will it be not to say I told you so?
Oh, it's going to be so
Just
hard.
every time
No, don't speak. Don't speak. Don't speak. No. Silence. Silence. Don't speak.
And we all have to deal with the maggots. I don't have any maggots in my life, so however all y'all decide to, maybe some of them can be saved. I'm like, oh, I know, he was a bastard. Okay, let's burn his clothes together and then come back home. But I'm just saying, who's this? Moses Law 75 on TikTok?
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Okay. All right, here we go.
FAFO on TikTok is the greatest thing to happen to the internet in I know 10 years. When I say I done laughed, I have laughed till I've cried. Watching these MAGA people figure out how bad they messed up in real time, it really is a thing of beauty. And I got word today that they have issued a warning that we better stop. That this FAFO thing needs to calm down, and we need to stop making fun of them and laughing at them. They don't want to be laughed at. It's not funny.
What's FAFO?
F around and find
Okay.
out.
Around and find out,
Okay.
which we are getting in record time. Oh, like for instance, Trump's stated intention to block the sale of U.S. steel to the Japanese firm for $14.9 billion triggered howls of outrage, including from a number of steel workers who backed Trump for president.
FAFO.
I'm very frustrated. The news that came last night said blah, 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 blah. I didn't expect that to come out, so that was like a gut punch.
Aww.
The leopard ate my face. I don't understand. This guy participated in Trump rallies. He said Trump never stated his intention to oppose that deal.
Yes.
What? The leopard never said specifically he was going to eat my face. As president of the Leopards Eating My Face party, I am shocked. Okay, please, more Moses.
There are consequences. You talking about the consequences we told y'all about before y'all voted like this? Because we're not laughing at the consequences, because ultimately we are going to have to suffer the consequences
Thank you.
of your actions. We are going to have to suffer for your uninformed and ignorant vote. So we're not laughing at the consequences. We are laughing because we told you and you didn't listen. And now you all over there acting befuddled, bewildered, and confused
Befuddled, bewildered,
that things
and
are
confused.
happening as we said they would. We are laughing at the sheer amount of people that have Googled, how can I change my vote? The fact that y'all don't know you can't change your vote is not only funny, it's sad, and
What?
Hey, that's a good name for a right-wing radio show, a morning zoo, right? Bewildered, befuddled, and
In the morning,
confused, everybody, for the next 4 years. I'm like, what? He did what?
Traffic all the sevens.
Hi, I'm bewildered.
I'm befuddled.
I'm confused.
She's right. The sad part is, like, I think we have a right to, right? Do you think I'm going to be the one exercising stability and restraint? Oh, no. Oh, no. Because you're going to hurt all of us. That's the problem. If you just voted and you're hurting yourself, then I feel bad for you. You're going to hurt all of us.
Exactly.
This show is not called Civility and Restraint in the Bone, everybody.
No, everybody else.
I really don't have words for it. And we're going to keep laughing. We're going to laugh for the next 4 years at y'all stupidity. We're going to laugh because we told you. We warned you. We explained. We did everything that we were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all still did what y'all wanted to do. So, yes, we're going to laugh. Because what you don't get to do is be the villain and the victim.
Thank you.
Pick a side and be on it. You don't get to be the villain and the victim. You don't. That is not how this works. You don't get to vote Cruella de Vil in the office and then walk around asking where all the puppies went. You know where they went. You voted Cruella in. That's where they went. So we gonna laugh. Oh, we gonna laugh. We gonna have a hearty chuckle at your expense.
Oh, my God.
So deal with it. Great day.
I love her.
That's my favorite. You don't get to vote Cruella de Vil and then say where are all the
Ask
where are
where
the
the
puppies
puppies are.
gone? Who let the dogs out? We're going to rename this Schadenfreude and Snark in the morning, everybody. It's going to be
Those puppies!
It's going to be 4 years of... We're not laughing at you. We're laughing really hard at you. FAFO! FAFO! Ah. Okay. Did you think I was going to be the one to model mature leadership? Oh, no.
Computer says no.
No. That's not what you come here for.
We're not civility and decorum in the morning.
No, everybody. Okay, you know what we are, though? Sexy liberals.
We are.
John Fugelsang, Frangela, Glenn Kirshner, all coming up on the big shoe. 20 minutes out. Your mommy called and says you are a very good boy, Carl. I just want to open with that.
Well, let me ask this question, because I think this mainstream media has gone too far.
is it really showing up drunk for a morning show if you never went to bed in the first place?
Is it really morning? Not really. And
I mean,
if Pete had just falls in a forest, no one's there to hear it, right?
It's noon somewhere.
Exactly.
Perhaps it's noon in Afghanistan.
I mean, this is what always happens, right? With Trump's quote unquote loyalty, he's obviously already been floating DeSantis out there, right? But so, what is your take on where we are this morning? Because this is just bad, man.
Well, it shows all kinds of weird things for Republicans right now. First, it shows kind of the nuttiness of not vetting your nominees. Second, it shows the willingness of Republican senators to twist themselves into pretzels to come up with ways to, explain away voting for somebody like this, which they will be happy to ignore as soon as the next nominee comes along, right? I mean, I don't know if you saw the Rick Scott interview with Jake Tapper, but
yeah, good grief! I know. Oh my God! Wait, do we have
that story?
Yeah, hang on. I have the story, but yeah, go ahead, Carl. You set it up for us.
So they're talking, and of course, Scott deploys the standard line: presidents should be able to appoint whoever they want. They won the election. And Tapper quickly points out, well, you voted against a lot of Biden's nominees. Didn't he deserve it? And then, of course, he backpedaled. And then, he said that the accusers should come forward.
He said, right, I'm tired of these anonymous accusers. Why don't they come on this show or others? And Jake Tapper's like, oh, well, should he release her from the NDA? And Rick Scott's like, absolutely not.
I have the quote here.
Uh-huh.
It says, hubbada, 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 hubbada.
I mean, you're absolutely right. That is the most absurd pretzel. Jake Tapper's like, well, do you want me to ask her questions or not? So he's like, no, he shouldn't release her from the NDA. But yeah, why is she anonymous?
It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, this leaves aside the question of like, if you're accusing somebody of having a drinking problem, the answer of a person with a non-drinking problem is not, well, I just won't drink. It's, I don't have a drinking problem.
Right. Yeah. The whole.
You don't have to quit something.
So I want to get into this whole Morning Joe David Frum thing because it also involves Fox News because he made a little offhand joke about like, wow, if you're too drunk for Fox News, you're really drunk. And so, in their new obeying in advance mode, Joe and Mika apologized on his behalf, right? So he writes this piece about fear about living. He said fear is infectious. Let it spread, and it will paralyze us all. And by the way, and so he made the point because they were defending people at Fox News now, right? And he said, yeah, I agree. There's some good people at Fox News, but there are also many of them are people that knew he had a serious alcohol problem, and is not fit to lead the Department of Defense.
And the hurdle that those people came to and then jumped over is rare. You rarely have insiders at Fox News ever saying anything about anybody from the network. I mean, the times that I can think of it are during these Me Too scandals at Fox News and this. I can't remember another insider speaking out. Certainly not insiders who are still in the building.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. Well, so I just wanted to get your take on the whole, because that was extraordinary. I don't know if you happened to see it, but because it airs twice out here, it airs live and then again. So I tuned in for this 22-minute whining, shouting screed from Joe Scarborough, right, about this David Frum thing, but also about clearly they're feeling the backlash. They've lost half their audience. They're dragging the whole network down after this going to kiss the ring at Mar-a-Lago. And I'm like, you think that's going to get your audience back? Screaming at them and whining about how, you've been victimized?
Not a chance. I think it reminds me a lot of early Morning Joe, like pre-Trump Morning Joe.
Yeah.
And, I think they found success during the Trump years. This is not how to replicate that.
Well,
It not only is offensive to people who tune into MSNBC, but it's offensive to people who value the truth.
Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
Yes, it is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. Glenn Kirshner coming up, bottom of the hour. Oh, golly. A Tennessee state senator was arrested for driving under the influence, and video of his alleged arrest was caught on camera. Police located his vehicle following reports of a hit and run. His pants appear to be wet. He struggled to put one foot in front of the other and keep steady during the field sobriety test, and he has just been nominated for Secretary of Defense, and I think that is a step up. That was a little joke.
It was a little joke. We'll have to apologize for Stephanie in the next hour.
He would only confirm an unfortunate incident had occurred.
Very unfortunate.
What does Pete Heck? Does Pete Hex's mommy come defend him anywhere? Oh, these are new reports. Are these new reports?
Yeah.
New reports reveal Pete Hex's alleged boozing in front of Fox News colleagues. Have been they've been anonymously blowing the whistle on his alcohol-fueled and work-related parties and events at a 2016 Fox and Friends Christmas party. That's kind of a contradiction in terms.
Yeah.
Fox and Friends party. He caused a disturbance that led to an internal investigation by the Human Resources Department.
Wow.
A year later, at the wedding of a Fox News producer, he became so intoxicated he struggled to stand upright in the men's bathroom. Friends had to arrange a ride home to make sure he made it to the studio in the morning. I'm just saying there is a distinction in showing up drunk to your morning show.
Right.
It starts at 6 a.m. That takes some doing. Okay. Jenny in Baltimore. Hello, Jen.
Hey, Stephanie, listen, Pete is his promise that he won't drink if we make him secretary.
Yes, if you make me Secretary of Defense, I will stop drinking. That inspires confidence in me. That says I am not a drunk.
Listen, I just wanted to mention here that along with all the pardons that Joe is considering, and he definitely should,
Yes.
at least offer the pardons, we need him to publish, tell him to tell the archivist to publish the Equal Rights Amendment, which has already been ratified by 38 states.
It has been.
Yeah.
If we can get that published, we might be able to save women's lives.
What? Oh, that's not important. Glenn Kirshner next.
think it's a very clear sign of what's to come should he become the director of the FBI and how he's going to conduct himself. I mean, we should take him at his word. These are things that he has threatened in the past. And I think by doing what he did, by sending that letter to me, it was an attempt to bully me, silence me, intimidate me. But it's also a signal to others, right, as he goes into the confirmation process of trying to silence others in terms of telling the truth about his background. I mean, look, I am a person who believes that he is unfit for the role of FBI director, and I have concerns about how he will behave in the role in, leading the nation's premier law enforcement agency.
Olivia Troy, one of our... Here. Okay, hang on, I got it. Oh, the batteries are out. I'm like, God. All right. One of our heroes of democracy. Really? I'm out of batteries? Okay, fine.
What kind of batteries do you need?
I don't know. I'll find out. Chris, who said, I don't want to continue to work for a paper that is appeasing Trump and facilitating his assault on democratic rule for craven reasons. Who said that?
Penelope Pitstop.
No! Harry Littman, our legal lad, one of our heroes of democracy, who just resigned the LA Times. Oh, look, here's another one. Thank God former U.S. Attorney Glenn Kirshner is here. Get me Glenn Kirshner. Glenn Kirshner. Former 30-year federal prosecutor Glenn Kirshner.
I can listen to him talk all day.
Who has answered the call for his country once again. MSNBC legal analyst Glenn Kirshner.
On the Stephanie Miller Show all day.
Piercing blue-eyed Glenn Kirshner.
We got that Glenn Kirshner now, and I feel okay.
Oh, hi. Good morning, Glenn Kirshner.
Good morning, Steph.
So, by the way, we've been talking about this, just modeling courage and how important that is. And we were mentioning Harry Littman, Olivia Troy, some stuff going on at MSNBC, obviously, with Joe and Mika and all of that. But I am so with David Fromm when he says, essentially courage is contagious and so is cowardice. And it's more important than ever. What's the old saying, right? We hang together or we'll hang separately, right?
Yeah, don't obey in advance. We're going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And here's the thing, Steph, we're going to win because Donald Trump is going to overplay his hand. Yeah. Look at the Republican infighting. Look at the way the Senate Republicans, no model in courage there, they are diluting Donald Trump's strength and power and influence by the day by rejecting, and it looks like soon to reject some more of his nominees. This is a really good thing. It tells me that maybe the Senate Republicans, now comfortably entrenched in Congress, having been reelected, are not going to just give over all their power to an aspiring dictator. We're going to keep fighting with everything we've got.
By the way, speaking of, I know, again, profiles in cowardice, Lindsey Graham pulled a flip-flop in near record time, dismissing a litany of misconduct allegations against Pete Hegseth that just a day earlier he had called very disturbing. Yep. So then he goes on Hannity and said, I've heard everything about all these people. None of it counts. No rumors, no innuendo. If you're not willing to raise your hand under oath and make the accusation, it doesn't count. Right. So, and you know why? Obviously, like he would go all, what would his Lady Macbeth Kavanaugh appearance on any poor woman, right, that would come before them. And first of all, he made her sign an NDA. So this is ridiculous, right?
Yeah. I mean, he paid off his victim, it looks like, to keep quiet. But I have a feeling she will somehow have to testify. Pete Hegseth, who, for God's sake, says women can't serve in combat, but sends his mom to Congress to fight his battles for him. That's not an original thought by me, but come on now, sport. I mean, there's no way this guy can be in charge of the U.S. military. That does such a disservice to the men and women of the armed forces that it really is. It's an embarrassment.
So the lawyer for Pete Hegseth told CNN's Caitlin Collins the woman who accused him of rape is no longer bound by a confidentiality agreement. Tim Parlatore said, Caitlin said, you said you believed it's extortion, but of course, as you know, extortion is also a crime. So if you felt it was extortion, why not go to the police at the time? And then he said the equivalent of, he said, then he said, if he's not confirmed as Secretary of Defense, we may still bring a civil extortion claim against her. So what the hair that he's splitting, Glenn, is he said this is a confidential agreement that had confidentiality on both sides. That agreement has since been breached by her. So as a result, I sent notice to her attorney that agreement is no longer in force. Well, first of all, we all know why so many rapes go unreported, because you know what they're going to do to her if she did come forward. But what is your take on that? I don't even know if he's telling the truth. What the difference between an NDA and a confidentiality agreement?
He still can't.
Yeah, who knows? And these people are going to say anything they can to try to support a guy like Hegseth. The same thing went on with Matt Gaetz when he went through that. I don't know if it was a legitimate announced nomination or not, but Matt Gaetz apparently is going to be AG, so he instantly has to resign from Congress. Well, wait a minute. Marco Rubio is allegedly going to be Secretary of State. He didn't instantly resign. Or how about Elise Stefanik? She didn't instantly resign when Trump announced she was going to get some position. So what was it? It was a game that Matt Gaetz appears to have played to try to prevent the ethics report from being disclosed. All of this is all gamesmanship by these people.
And House Republicans just blocked the release of the Matt Gaetz Estes report. Don Bayer just tweeted this that looked into criminal allegations about sex with a minor. And first of all, that's our report, as we said, right? The taxpayers paid for that, and he certainly is not going to leave public. He's probably going to run for governor of Florida, right? Yeah.
So why should the voters? Why should his constituents know anything about his misconduct that was investigated and resulted in a report being authored by the House Ethics Committee? I mean, maybe he considers himself a Supreme Court justice, so the ethics don't apply to him either. I don't know.
Yeah. So you had said, I know Trump thinks he can flood the zone with unqualified hacks like Hegseth, Patel, Gabbard, and others, but consider he wanted Rick Scott to be Senate Minority Leader. Republican senators said nope. He wanted Gaetz as AG. Senators said nope. It seems like a pattern emerging. That's part of this. Don't obey in advance. Things are not inevitable. He is not the great and powerful Oz. This is a clown show, and he's not even in yet. Right?
Yeah, Steph, it's a little bit of a team of rivals, or the old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because the Senate, said no to Rick Scott as Senate Majority Leader, said no to Matt Gaetz as AG. It looks like they may be preparing to say no to Hegseth. And, there was a lesser covered Donald Trump defeat. The head of the DEA, the person he nominated or said he would nominate to be head of the DEA, a few days later, there were some Republicans who were making some noises about he wasn't MAGA enough, and he withdrew. And then Donald Trump played catch up and said, he didn't withdraw. Right. I got rid of him. Well, no, look at the timing. It looks like he didn't get rid of him. So look, it's defeat after defeat after defeat. Yeah. And what that is doing is it is weakening Donald Trump. Yeah. Before he's even sworn in.
Let's just let them eat themselves. It's a big bag of rats already, right? MAGA is mad at, Ron DeSantis. They don't want him as defense secretary because was against Trump. They're mad at Joni Ernst because she didn't come out in support of Pete Hegseth. They don't want her. I mean, what a S show already.
The infighting will be glorious.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the pardon list. Biden, this is reporting, blanket precautionary pardons are being considered for some of Trump's political foes. I'm for this. I'm interested what your take is. I mean, when you have someone that, could be FBI director who has specifically named these people, as has Donald Trump, right? I mean, he has literally said Adam Schiff's a sleazebag and a traitor, should be prosecuted for the damage he's done to our country. Trump reposted a photo of Anthony Fauci along with Biden, Harris, and Pelosi all wearing orange jumpsuits that read how to actually fix the system. Liz Cheney, he said she should go to jail along with the rest of the unselect committee. Yeah. So, interestingly, our friend Adam Schiff, who you just did Sexy Liberal with, said, I would urge the president not to do that. I think it would seem defensive and unnecessary. I have to say I disagree with him, given, Trump's track record and the lunatics that he's going to appoint. I guess part of the problem is that's admitting guilt, I guess, if you take a pardon. And I understand people going, what the F? I didn't do anything. Right?
Yeah, there's so much to unravel here, Stephen. First of all, full disclosure, as a former career prosecutor, I'm kind of allergic to pardons because I think people should be held accountable for the crimes they actually committed. I think you have victims of those crimes. You have investigators and prosecutors and grand juries and trial juries and judges, the court system, all of which tries to dispense justice and hold folk accountable. And pardons just wipe all that away, right? So I have mixed feelings about the Hunter Biden pardon, because I think he was unfairly singled out for harsher treatment
of course.
because of his last name. So that kind of feeds into one of the most traditional and acceptable reasons for a pardon, to deliver mercy and to right a wrong. Not that he didn't commit the crimes. He pleaded guilty to the tax crimes, and a jury convicted him of the relatively minor firearms
that literally
crimes.
no one goes to prison
But he was
for.
treated unfairly. He was treated more severely than he would have been if his last name wasn't Biden. And I don't like to go to the whataboutism, but I think I have to, because Donald Trump, for gosh sakes, pardoned his friends, his criminal associates, people who could have provided incriminating information against him, like Roger Stone. He pardoned him, and he pardoned his son-in-law's father and made him ambassador to France. I mean, there is no parity between Joe Biden pardoning his son for being treated unduly harshly, and when the Republicans have signaled, we're going to keep hounding Hunter Biden unfairly until the day he dies. Why wouldn't you want to provide some protection for somebody like that?
Yeah, we're not in any, as you know, Glenn, we've talked about a million times, we're not in any normal time here. You know, I was with Jim Clyburn. He said, yes, he's for the pardons. He said, Jack Smith's name's on my list, Liz Cheney. I think they should all be preemptively pardoned, because I think there are people who Trump may bring into government who will go after these people in a serious way, and there is no need to subject them to that. I mean, it's just, I know what you're saying. We're just not in normal times, you know. I was surprised that I know Adam Schiff and Gavin Newsom were expressed, concern about the Hunter Biden pardon. And I just vociferously disagree. It's a good we have all these disagreements after we did Sexy Liberal LA.
Yeah.
Also didn't agree with him on Joe Biden getting out. But, you know, isn't it interesting, too, all this, like, post-election aftermath, Glenn? It's like, who the hell knows anymore? Like, everybody was right and everybody was wrong, I guess. You know, I mean, some people, the people that blame Biden for not getting out soon enough because he had a, 40% approval rating, was 80 years old, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's people that, say he got out too late. I mean, it's just could have, should have. I mean, I think who you can't blame is Kamala Harris. She did an amazing job in 100 days. So, but,
Right. But I think we have to do an autopsy or an after action report anytime we haven't succeeded, because we want to learn from those mistakes on a far smaller scale. When I was chief of homicide at the DC U.S. Attorney's Office, after all of our homicide trials, win, lose, or draw, we would sit down and do a little autopsy and say, okay, what did we do well? What could we have improved on? How can we learn from this experience? We have to do that. We have to adjust. We have to learn. And you know what? I'm already looking forward to the midterms. Are we exhausted? Yes. Are we going to take some time to sort of re-energize over the holidays? Yes. But I'm already looking forward to the midterms.
Well, no, exactly. And that's the other thing. None of us, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what would have happened if Joe Biden would have stayed in. People were right that I think Lawrence O'Donnell was right. It was too late to get out because that was not fair to, to Kamala Harris. But it is what it is now, coulda, shoulda, woulda. So speaking of rewriting history, former Trump campaign lawyer Ken Chesborough, who pled guilty to a conspiracy charge in Georgia election meddling case, is trying to invalidate the plea. Can you do that, Glenn?
Yeah, good question. You can withdraw. You can file a motion with a judge to withdraw your guilty plea. And the time that you are most likely to succeed is the time between the day you pleaded guilty, but before you've been sentenced. After you've been sentenced, it's not impossible, but it's extraordinarily difficult to have your guilty plea revoked and thrown out by the judge. So listen, this is a nakedly political play, it looks like, by Chesborough. And I don't think he will be successful because there is an interest in finality. When you accept responsibility for your crimes and you take an oath, you swear an oath in court the day you plead guilty, and you swear that you are guilty and you're pleading guilty because you're guilty and for no other reason, courts rarely will undo that for reasons down the road and circumstances have changed.
That's the Emily Latella rule. You can't just say, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old joke. Okay, and last one. Let's end on Sliver of Hope news. Trump isn't entirely out of the woods with January 6 court cases, according to legal experts. While criminal cases against him are being shut down, civil cases can go forward. Your friend Norm Eisen, one of the people who wrote this, saying that Trump is the defendant in several civil cases alleging wrongdoing for trying to deprive citizens of their votes and for the Capitol riot. Obviously, your friend Eric Swalwell and some, is it Harry Dunn, another Capitol police officer, I believe. Those cases could be the only real way of establishing an authoritative record of the events on and around January 6th, they write. What's your take on that?
Yeah, those civil suits will go forward. I'm sure Donald Trump will try to use the DOJ to intervene and shut them down. I don't think he'll be successful. So whereas the criminal cases, at a minimum, will be on hold, because Jack Smith, remember, asked Judge Chutkan to dismiss the criminal cases without prejudice, meaning they can be rebrought in the future. I'm not saying the odds are high that they will be, but legally they can be. But the civil suits should continue.
Yeah. No, that's what my fear is. That's what Kash Patel and all that's about, is rewriting history. I mean, they literally, we're going to prosecute the people that helped Joe Biden cheat in 2020. I mean, when Donald Trump is done, the history books will say Trump won in 2020, right? If he has his way.
Right.
Depending on who writes the history books. Let's hope it's historians and not propagandists.
Yeah. That's an old-fashioned idea, historians writing history. You old-timer. All right.
That's adorable.
That's so cute. I love you, Glenn Kirshner. See you next week.
Love you, Steph.
All
See
right.
you guys.
Thanks,
There you
Glenn.
go.
right.
49 minutes after the hour. Well. You heard it, sir. You cannot trust medical advice from medical professionals. From our new Director of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy. Good morning.
Now, good morning. Wasn't that a helpful comment to tell people not to trust their doctors? Now, there's a good start for what will be a disaster in American healthcare right down the road, unless he doesn't get confirmed, which I'm still hoping that he won't. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I saw you and Dr. Hotez on with my beloved Nicole Wallace. And by the way, you have afternoon TV hair and morning hair, let me just say. And you looked very put together.
My goodness.
You're a little more scruffy in the morning. I like it.
Thank you.
Now,
yeah.
so even who was it? Michael Bloomberg spoke out yesterday and just said this is a disaster. I mean, people have died in Samoa and elsewhere. I mean, people are. I don't even want to know how many people are going to die if this is what our Director of Health and Human Services is saying.
And people are pretty aware, I guess, at this point about his crazy views on vaccines and healthcare research. But I think a lot of people may not be aware, Stephanie, about the damage he's been doing in Africa.
Yeah.
Massive campaigns to undermine people getting treatment for HIV/AIDS. People denying what it's caused by, and it's just costing lives in Africa as well as Samoa, as well as in the United States. It's truly frightening.
Yeah, Michael Bloomberg said it would be beyond dangerous and medical malpractice on a mass scale to confirm him. He said it's beyond comprehension. Kennedy would be nominated with such a history, and he said he doesn't care about evidence. Making it harder to get vaccines would be one of the most catastrophic mistakes in American history, travesty beyond measure. I mean, that's the thing, Doc. It's like one of these candidates is worse than the last one. So, we don't know which one to be distracted by, right?
No, I know. If somebody said to you, okay, you have the power to eliminate one of these candidates, who would it be? You might want to think about Tulsi Gabbard,
right,
or RFK Jr. or Mehmet Oz. I mean, you have quite a range of choices in that dilemma. But I'm telling you. Maybe some of this is just kind of a ploy to get some of these people out of there, and then he puts in the second line, and people say, "Oh, that's so much better." Like Bondi replacing Matt Gaetz. This is the kind of thing that he's capable, or his advisors capable of doing. But I'm worried as hell.
Well, and you made a great point on, I don't know if this is Threads or Twitter, but you said he's caused extensive deadly harm as a private citizen. Imagine what he would do running a once highly respected global health powerhouse with a $1.8 trillion budget and 80,000 employees. You said he's the Matt Gaetz of public health, but even more dangerous. And you just said we need every senator from both parties to understand what this appointment would represent and be the irreparable harm he would cause to people in global public health and the reputation of our country. And I think you're right. We're in the middle of this, Pete Hegseth stuff. So I mean, this is what, doesn't Steve Bannon call flooding the zone with S, right? Just flooding the zone with so much, incompetence and chaos.
Yeah, this is really, I don't know. I'm sort of sick of using unprecedented as a word, as an expression, but I don't know what to replace it with exactly. Because the fact of the matter is, nothing like this has ever happened.
I love Double Match Day. It's like a double Dutch bus full of matches.
Oh, yeah.
At Free Speech TV to keep us on the... There's been so many articles written in the wake of this election on the need for progressive infrastructure and supporting places like this here, Free Speech TV. Double Match Day, that means it's the very last day of the pledge drive. Double Match frontline funders have upped their support. Will be doubling all your... Anything you give today, you wait. You were smart to wait till today. I know you're a procrastinator, but thank you. freespeech.org/donate or call 877-378-8669. Well. You heard it, sir. You cannot trust medical advice from medical professionals. From our new Director of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy. Good morning.
Now, good morning. Wasn't that a helpful comment to tell people not to trust their doctors? Now, there's a good start for what will be a disaster in American healthcare right down the road, unless he doesn't get confirmed, which I'm still hoping that he won't. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I saw you and Dr. Hotez on with my beloved Nicole Wallace. And by the way, you have afternoon TV hair and morning hair, let me just say. And you looked very put together.
My goodness.
You're a little more scruffy in the morning. I like it.
Thank you.
Now, so even who was it? Michael Bloomberg spoke out yesterday and just said this is a disaster. People have died in, Samoa and elsewhere. I mean, people are, I don't even want to know how many people are going to die if this is what our Director of Health and Human Services is saying.
And people are pretty aware, I guess, at this point about his crazy views on vaccines and healthcare research. But I think a lot of people may not be aware, Stephanie, about the damage he's been doing in Africa.
Yeah.
Massive campaigns to undermine people getting treatment for HIV/AIDS. People denying what it's caused by, and it's just costing lives in Africa as well as Samoa, as well as in the United States. It's truly frightening.
Yeah, Michael Bloomberg said it would be beyond dangerous and medical malpractice on a mass scale to confirm him. He said it's beyond comprehension. Kennedy would be nominated with such a history, and he said he doesn't care about evidence. Making it harder to get vaccines would be one of the most catastrophic mistakes in American history, travesty beyond measure. That's the thing, Doc. It's like one of these candidates is worse than the 56 minutes after the hour. Mike Karen in Chicago. Hello, darling.
Good. Hello, my love. How are you?
Hello. Good.
I have to say this. You talk about the progressive voices that we need. WCPT, Heartland Signal, is one of the most important lineup of voices out there for progressive ideals. And of course, Richard Chu comes on before you guys.
Right. Love him.
But, absolutely.
Why does he not name his show Chew on That? I would like that better.
Chew on this.
Choose Views.
Choose News.
Yes.
Yeah, Choose News. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's called Choose Views. But I'm just saying.
News.
I would prefer Chew on That. But all right, go ahead.
On that. But, and it is so important. And we do need to, for anybody out there that they're talking to friends and relatives who are just completely freaked out and in despair, tell everybody about these progressive resources. When I first found you, I actively went looking because I needed to have some more information so that I could win those,
Yes.
as Thom Hartmann
And now we
says,
have an army of liberal helpers.
yeah.
Tell Richard also, I would
Yes.
like Chewbacca to be. Maybe we can get Mark Hamill to do his intro, right?
Okay, I will. I go
play
in
Chewbacca.
studio every other week with him.
Okay.
So but this is what we need, and because I was at a holiday party last night, and one of my colleagues was talking about Thanksgiving with her daughter, who is a MAGA voter, and the son-in-law. And the son-in-law, she literally brought a children's book about the suffragette movement.
Oh dear. Sorry. Heartbreak.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Do you think if he becomes the FBI director that he will target people that he considers to be his adversaries or enemies, not only of Cash Patelli, but of Donald Trump?
Yes, absolutely. And I would say that, on that list are Republicans on that list. And I would say that anyone that he feels has crossed the president in the future should really think carefully about what it looks like to have the FBI run by someone who is going to behave in this manner. And this is someone, his demeanor when he was in the roles that I met him in, when he was working in the first Trump administration, this is how he behaved on a daily basis, was a division of always suspecting deep state people, always questioning it, hiding information, and I could go on.
Olivia Troy, our hero of democracy. Yes, I stole that from Bob Cesca. All right, I'll give it back after today. But we have so many, right? David Frum, Harry Littman, our friend who will join us on Monday, Olivia Troy. This is how you model courage in the face of fascism, my friend. Give me one more, 13. Olivia Troy on with Jim.
So you think he could go after John Bolton? You think he could go after Lisa Monaco, Stephanie Grisham, people like that?
Yes, and it is concerning. These are people who are simply telling the truth about what they know, and I think we should pay close attention to what this means for the media, for people going forward. And is that who we want to be as a nation? Is that who we want to be as a United States, with someone in the FBI leading that organization, using it for political purposes and not using it to protect the safety and security of the American people?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was momentarily blinded by Bonnie's cuteness, in addition to Jody Hamilton's cuteness. Oh. All right. So by the by, please support all of these people that are standing up. We welcome the last remaining Morning Joe viewers.
Hi.
Morning Joe and Mika have gone missing this morning with no explanation after their, was it 22-minute rant and whine and screaming at their audience. Surprisingly, that didn't bring people back, but yeah.
We're a better choice.
Yes, I believe we are, for America and for your morning viewing. Yes. So much has been written, by the way, in this post-election period about disinformation and the need for progressive infrastructure. So Max Burns wrote a piece, Democrats are checked out after their drubbing. Here's how they can re-engage. Everyone from Alan Lichtman to Michael Tomasky talking about progressive infrastructure. Paul writes, Steph, this is your Catholic priest, frequent listener from Minnesota. As a priest, I know we're all supposed to cultivate the attitude of resurrecting hope in truly tragic situations, even if I'm not feeling exactly hopeful. The truly global consequences of this unprecedented evil election, won through evil means on so many different levels, on so many different situations, will be unprecedented in human history. I would be willing to fund to become a stakeholder in what would be the equivalent of the Heritage Fund and CPAC for a new liberal progressive network. Is the antithesis of Fox News, etc. Let's get liberal billionaires to take the long view approach entailed in creating longer strategies effective as the Kochs and the Adelsons and blah, blah, blah. Who's going to start? I think it's the Stephanie Miller Group. I'll help in any way I can. Bummed out, but working on my faith in fellow Americans and working on hope. Father Paul. Thank you, Father Paul.
That would help counter the Catholic Church buying up a whole bunch of progressive radio stations.
There you
about
go.
A decade ago.
Can I have my sexy liberal music? Here's a way you can help. Guess what? what you should do today, buy the Sexy Liberal LA show, pay-per-view, if you want to be re-energized and reinvigorated for the fight ahead. It was an unbelievable show with Adam Schiff and Mark Hamill and Glenn Kirshner. Am I forgetting anybody? It was Politics Girl, Lee McGowan. Oh my God, it was so joyous and so hilarious. And it'll only be available through this weekend. We have another exciting Sexy Liberal announcement on Monday.
What could it be?
Buy the Sexy, $20, but it helps support this whole progressive infrastructure here. Please and thank you. SexyLiberal.com. And tickets for the live show for DC are also on sale. That is the very last one, January 18th in DC, the day of the Women's March and the beginning of the Resistance.
And then you're going to hightail it out of there as soon as it's done.
Oh, like through a goose. A goose that just took laxatives. That's how I'm going to be out of there. So I was like, is there a flight earlier than 0600 or whatever that flight was in A Few Good Men? Okay. What do I keep saying? You just don't know what people are going through, right? And so that's another act of resistance. Be kind, reach out, lift someone up that is scared, that is hurting, that's going through something on top of all this political stress we're all feeling. Tyler in Corona, let's send some love and light. He says, Steph, thank you for still being here for all of us who may not survive the next 4 years and won't be here to see what happens next. I don't know if I have the strength for another 4 years of the hate and the anger. My stupid cancer and the chemo that is keeping me alive is wearing my body down to the point I've not been able to attend the last 2 LA Sexy Liberal shows in person. Thank you and your crew for doing the online shows. They're a lifeline for those of us who are in remote locations or it's hard to leave our homes. I continue to live for the time with my grandkids and my wife and I had hope for this messed up but wonderful nation. I'm feeling wholly grateful to be a California native, or at least I still have some rights, as do my girls and my grandgirls. I'll continue to worry about my granddaughter and my grandgirls in Kansas, as well as my sons and grandsons. Thank you for allowing me to vent. Please know you and Chris and Jody are appreciated and loved. Hugs and kisses and treats to the pups. Tyler in Corona. Let's send some love and light out to Tyler. All right, more importantly, we gave you the gift of Greg Proops yesterday. You're welcome. He is
he's going to be a part of
hilarious.
He's going to be a part of the Happy Hour podcast, which gets released a little bit later on today.
That's how else you support progressive infrastructure. Download the Happy Hour podcast every day, absolutely free. Download, give it 5 stars.
Yep.
There you go. Anyway, we got, for some reason, talking about Peter Frampton and the 70s bands, and Brian would like to remind us it is called a wah-wah pedal.
No, well, no. Not for the mouth.
No, it's not.
No, the wah-wah pedal's for the
How did you
guitar.
get out of the 70s rock era and not know it's called a wah-wah pedal? No, everybody thought Frampton was a genius for hooking the pedal up to the microphone instead of his guitar.
No, he had
Wah, 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 wah. It was kind of like a Charlie Brown's Teacher pedal. The opposite of when every industry insider was horrified that Cher's producer used the auto-tune machine to untune her, revealing the secret of the magic box. So many of them, like Reba and Celine, who would never sing a word unless her mic was hooked up to one. Now she's seen as a genius. And that's today in music history. And now back to the countdown. I knew we were going to collide getting to that show.
Yeah. Well, there's a long intro.
It's a mouth
wah-wah pedal.
It's a mouth wah-wah or a
What?
talk box.
I
or
can't
a
hear
voice
anything
box.
Jody's saying.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear anything you're saying. I don't.
It's a mouth wah-wah.
Oh, now I can hear you. What did you do? Okay.
Moved it a little bit.
Go ahead. What?
I already explained it, and now I'm repeating myself to all these
I
people.
couldn't hear. If I didn't hear it, it didn't happen.
It didn't exist.
It's also known as a voice box or a talk box to make his guitar sound like it's speaking. The
Yeah.
talk box works by sending audio from an amplified instrument through a compression driver into a plastic tube that the musician puts into their mouth.
All I know is I was hopped up on Lake Niagara Wine at whatever stadium in Buffalo, and that was the most genius thing I ever heard.
I wonder how.
I love you, Buffalo. Wah wah wah.
I wonder how often he cleaned that mouth thing.
Yeah, right.
Every
Ew.
day, I would imagine.
Oh, ugh.
Ew. Has anyone asked Pete Head, on top of everything else, why he doesn't wash his hands after he takes a dump? I mean, that's
10
gross.
years he didn't wash his
He
hands.
says he hasn't washed his hands.
Because he can't see germs.
Yeah, because they don't exist unless he can see them.
What did Bob say? He said, Bob said that everybody at Fox probably has pink eye. That's probably why everybody's blowing the whistle on him, because he's probably puked on every single one of them in a drunken rage, and also they have pink eye from his disgusting fecal matter hands. Oh.
Maybe he could give Judge Janine some pink eye.
It's like Judge Janine. Judge Janine's the only one that does not judge his drinking at Fox News.
Very true.
Hey, come on in there. Come in my office. How many times do you think they got blasted in her office? Okay. By the way, have I mentioned liberals have to learn how to fight differently, better, something?
Dirtier?
There was cheating in this election. It just was all out in the open, right? Yeah. You know, I get Jen Kirkman retweeted someone saying, I don't believe he won all 7 swing states any more than I believe he got shot in the ear. I understand, because he's the biggest liar and cheater, and Russia did not stop. They didn't just stop cheating on his behalf. But a lot of it was right out in the open. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the disinformation that won this election. But this one just made me vomit. Elon Musk gave $20.5 million to a shadowy political action committee called RBG PAC in the closing weeks of the presidential election, according to a new filing. The PAC ran ads saying Trump does not support a federal abortion ban. How fast you want to bet he goes for a national abortion ban? Its website features a picture of him and our Ruth Bader Ginsburg side by side with the caption, "Great minds think alike." The RBG PAC has no connection to the Ginsburg family, is an affront to my late grandmother's legacy, said her granddaughter. The use of her name and image to support Donald Trump's reelection, and specifically to suggest that she would approve of his position on abortion, is nothing short of appalling. But, you know, if we learned one disgusting thing in this election, disinformation worked. They got enough people to believe Haitians were eating your pets, and that they took your FEMA relief money and gave it to illegals, and, you know, whatever. They were doing trans surgery on your kids in school without your permission, and blah, blah, blah. Ay, ay, ay. Guess what else is going to be illegal? Now we can't have nice bubble baths for men, specifically. This one, I think we've hit the stupidest part of the stupid timeline. So, baby Goebbels, Stephen Miller, vows Trump will ban federal employees from doing business in a bathtub.
Because they do that a lot?
Okay. Stephen Miller vowed that federal workers would soon be banned from doing their work in the bathtub after a staffer was caught taking a bubble bath. A new Senate report says that only 6% of federal workers go into the office 5 days a week. You know, a lot, obviously, during COVID. People did all kinds of different arrangements as long as you got your work done. Jesse Waters reporting. One manager at Veterans Affairs took a picture of himself working from a bubble bath. What kind of man takes a bubble bath? Stephen Miller, should grown men be taking bubble baths? Oh, God. Stephen Miller said grown men should not be taking bubble baths. They certainly should not be doing their work from home in a bubble. Oh, my God. When Donald Trump is inaugurated on January 20th and that golden age of America begins, it's gonna be the golden shower age. We're all gonna get a golden shower. Won't that be fun?
That'll be nice.
Enjoy the hooker pee, everybody. Drink up. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be like Trickle Down from Ronald Reagan, but with hooker pee. Yeah. That golden age of America begins. He's going to tell the federal workers of this country, who your viewers pay to get back into the office to do their jobs or find another line of work. Thank God. Well, that's going to help the price of eggs. No more bubble baths for men. Are women? Is it okay for women still?
I guess. Bubble baths are cool.
Pardon me?
Bubble baths are fun.
Speaking of manly men, this is Scaramucci talking about Donald's girdle.
Does Trump really wear a girdle?
On certain days, yes. Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
Yeah. He's an image-oriented guy. He's a television entertainer. He hates taking pictures of him from the side because he just looks too fat from the side. He likes to take pictures head on. Spends a lot of time on his hair. It's like a sort of a weave thing that he does up there. He's got a certain orange war paint that he wears. He's got 2-inch heels, lifts in his shoes, even though he's a reasonably tall person. There's insecurity there. There's the hyper-masculinity is a tell for how insecure the guy actually is. And so what I don't understand, and I think people will write about 50 years from now, is that we just had a group of political cowards that couldn't stand up to the guy. I don't understand what were they fearful of, and maybe it just was they want to stay in power more than they want to serve the public.
Yeah. All right. Manly. Okay, 20 minutes after the hour, this portion of the show brought to you by, you know what is their magic? Right now, Greg Proops. Who is a progressive warrior. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I
understand it's been quite a technical morning.
Oh, it's been a morning.
Yes.
Honey, you have always honestly been one of the most hilarious humans to me ever. But you're also, I just get inspired by your activism and your political thoughts, and you're just a big ball of fun, Greg Proops. Can I say that?
Oh, yes, you can, Stephanie Miller. Thank you very much for saying that. I try to be a big ball, and then occasionally I'm fun too. So those things often follow one another.
So
bouncing.
We're all coping differently. You tweeted or threaded whatever, blue skied, pardon me, I can't tell the difference anymore. You said, for the next 4 years, my pledge, no mention of pig face. The media is toast, F them, only positivity and humor, fighting for what's right, speaking up for those who cannot, fighting fascism. Thank you. I mean, this is what the hope of fascism is, that we feel helpless and we feel overwhelmed and depressed and we just check out, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people feel that way, and a lot of people felt that way for the last, since November. But I just got tired of on social all the hot takes, and she should have done this, and she should have done that.
Oh,
it's
God.
like Kamala Harris is like Hillary Clinton, a once-in-a-lifetime rock star, absolutely qualified, genius candidate for president. There was a zillion forces against her, and I'm sure you've been hashing it over the last month. So I think moving on, we just we go forward and look at the positive parts. We have more black women in the Senate now, and I think self-preservation is the first order of business, to make sure that we're all calm and together. And then the next thing is to defend people who can't be defended.
One of my first orders of business will be to rename it the United States of Mark Elias. And I know you agree because you retweeted him. But he's one of the warriors. He said Trump wants you to believe he's all powerful and that if you fight back, you'll lose. He wants you to believe if you fight back, you face danger. It's time for us to build not a temporary resistance, but a long-term opposition. And you just said, I'm in. First, we have a little Christmas, then we fight for what's right. Evil will not prevail. And that's exactly it, right? At this point, Greg, just like self-care. Do whatever you need to do. These two are addicted to, what's that thing?
Connections. New York Times Connections.
I got it today.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm balls deep into Madam Secretary because I love Tia Leone. And in my world that I live in, a strong, powerful woman runs the world, basically. But but you're right. And then get back in the fight, right? I mean, the fact that this is such a clown show and how many nominees are already out, and he hasn't even started yet, right? He's not the great and powerful Oz.
No, he's not. He's terrible. He's an awful. Well, I mean, almost all Nazis and fascists are incompetent boobs led by, racism and sexism, and they don't really have an agenda because there's nothing to accomplish. The only thing to accomplish is chaos and destruction, and that's not really like a tenable, I think, thing that you can carry on with, because at a certain point people get tired of it and it stops.
Yeah. I say that I feel the term incompetent boob is underused, and I thank you for bringing that back.
I mean, if there's anyone who's an incompetent, and everyone that he knows, I mean, the thing that's so irksome is the media has been, pliant, obsequious lapdogs who openly support fascism because they want the clicks and they want everyone to be agitated, and it works so well for them.
Yeah.
And they'll take whatever I can barely get it out, advertising dollars they can get simply by doing that. And so I can't listen to them every second anymore. And during the 4 years that he was in before, and I'll never say he was president because he's not my bloody president.
I have like 6 of those T-shirts. Not my president. That's a nice thing, is since he's going to blow up the economy. Thank you. With tariffs, I can reuse all of my old shirts. Maybe we'll even have impeachment again. I have impeachment shirts. I have not my president. I have resistance T-shirts.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. You retweeted our friend Jamie Harrison, who said Joe Biden's a good and decent man. He's a public servant who has always strived to try to do what he believes is best for all. Joe Biden is also an amazing father. Today he did what was best and what was right, and that was that. And you just retweeted it and said truth. Like, I'm so sick of the, pearl clutching and bedwetting on our side sometimes.
Stephanie Miller.
I know, right? I'm going to go see Wicked. I'm going to ride my bike. Okay.
Who are you seeing Wicked with?
My friend Trish of...
Oh, Robin Trish.
I don't even know. Maybe Rob will come. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Of
Robin Trish.
Right. Okay, anyway.
Is he a Wicked gay?
No, he's Wicked straight.
Okay.
He's of Robin Trish.
Of Robin Trish, yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that hasn't stopped people before.
Okay, so where was I?
I don't know.
Oh, John Fugelsang and Frangela all coming up on this Sexy Liberal Friday. As I just said in the last segment, last weekend, to get the LA Sexy Liberal pay-per-view, get it today. Help support this whole progressive infrastructure that this cinematic universe we're spinning around in. Monday will be a brand new announcement, but last weekend, $20 for the LA show, which will energize you, make you joyful, and get ready for the fight and laugh. Okay. Do you get the sense that health insurance executives are a little nervous? Insurance company halts plan to put time limits on coverage for anesthesia during surgery.
That was the dumbest idea.
I know. I was like, what? There's like prescribed times for a surgery. So if your surgery goes overtime, you're like, nope, pulling the plug on your anesthesia.
No. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to charge you the money for
Right. Well, they cancel. They obviously, after criticism. See, the resistance works, whether it's South Korea or here. After sharp criticism from anesthesiologists, what do they know? An insurance company is halting its plan to limit the amount of time it would cover anesthesia used in surgeries for Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I mean, if there's a complication, the surgery is going to last longer.
If you've ever had surgery, isn't that your biggest nightmare? That you're going to wake up before, right?
Right.
Oh, my God. I've said every surgery I've ever had, I say the same thing to the anesthesiologist. I'm always like, please don't kill me. It always makes them laugh. I just hope, just think about it. Okay, someone is going to make...
That's what I say to chiropractors.
Please don't break my back. Okay, so someone's going to make a movie about this tragedy, the United Healthcare CEO. So he'd been living separately from his wife for years. Obviously, we're thinking somebody's claim was denied or whatever. I don't know if it's too early for dark humor, but someone tweeted, suddenly I have a screenplay idea about an aging hitman was denied insurance for his hip replacement.
No. Lonnie thinks it's the wife.
Oh, really?
The Washington Post has an extensive article about why it wasn't a hitman that did it today.
Oh.
So, yeah.
But he thinks she hired somebody to kill her husband because they've been separated for years.
But for years, so it's not like it was...
Right.
But he just moved a mile from her, so maybe she doesn't want him back in the neighborhood.
Someone is writing this movie right now here in Hollywood, I can tell. I kind of like the aging hitman. Who would play the guy that played Paulie Walnuts? That guy.
I didn't watch The Sopranos.
Oh, I know. I forgot. I fired you for that, didn't I?
Uh-huh. Many times.
Okay.
Well, you know how they got a good view of his face.
Yes.
The lady at the hostel said, "Pull down your mask. I want to see your smile."
Yes, that was what a dummy. Yeah. Oh, here's another movie. This is for a Catholic school girl like me. Italian nun arrested over links to powerful mafia network. Oh my God, I think so many of my nuns were mobbed up in Catholic school.
Yeah.
Sister Luke.
Sister Luke was.
Oh, she's totally mobbed
Principal
up.
of my school.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk to John Fugelsang about that next.
Along the way, Liz Cheney would no doubt suffer the reputational harm of indictment, the financial harm of having to defend herself, and the psychic harm of having to bear the pressure of an investigation and charges. Biden owes it to Trump's most prominent critics to save them from that burden. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that argument. I disagree with Michael. And I think that there's, and I shouldn't say easy, but there's a way to do this.
Michelle Goldberg talking about the preemptive
I think that would make the narrative clear cut for the American people. It's not ideal to have an incoming potential head of the FBI, Kash Patel, who has published enemies lists. But one advantage of that is that he wrote a book. He has an enemies list in it. So we know exactly who he has threatened to go after without cause. Just pardon everyone on it. Pardon everyone on it. Give a speech, say, and this is one reason I wish that the president was a better communicator, but give a speech and say, I wasn't able to save the country from Donald Trump, but this is what they've threatened to do.
Yeah, I'm with her. Michelle Goldberg, I'm with her. Yep, absolutely. Pardon party. Let's do it. Let's go. Hey, look who's here. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi. That's some weird interpretive dance.
Make me waking up like this. Good morning, everybody.
Hello. Did you see? I posted on social media our love movie. It looks like a Hallmark movie. I don't know. My iPad made like a little, romantic movie with John Fugelsang and I.
It's beautiful. All those sores I thought were gone away began itching again. It was beautiful just looking at it, Steph. I want to remind everybody, I will also give up drinking if you'll let me be in charge of the greatest army in the world. And if you need my mom to call, if you need to talk to my mom, let me know. But I'm against women in combat, but she will fight my battles for me.
There we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. All right. Well, so listen, we're in a whole different universe. I'm for Biden pardoning anybody he needs to. We can't play by the old rules anymore, right? Like Trump so far has done everything he said he's going to do. Do you really doubt he would go out?
You can say the pardon was wrong. You can say the pardon was right. At the end of the day, Joe Biden is out of F's. That's it. Joe Biden is he's done. He doesn't
Dark
care.
Brandon season finale.
All I can say is in 2 years from now, Joe Biden pardoning his son, who's already had his case adjudicated. Yeah. Joe Biden pardoning his son is going to seem like the most innocent thing any president has ever done. It's going to be so milquetoast in 2 years.
And by the way, they keep proving our point. Which one's this? Hang on. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, give me 16. This is a Republican representative. Here we go.
The wording of the U.S. Constitution shows it's unconstitutional to do preemptive pardons. So show the wording of the Constitution. It doesn't see anything. It says pardons for offenses, not future offenses or potential offenses down the road. That means Biden's blanket pardon of Hunter Biden can be challenged and thrown out in court.
I agree, and I think it should be. And I think that you'll see members from the Oversight Committee and other committees that have worked so diligently on this try to seek out those arguments.
Yeah, that's what people voted for, not the price of eggs. They just want Hunter Biden persecuted till the end of time.
I mean, Nixon's pardon then shouldn't have stood because it was for future stuff, too. Hunter's is just for his past.
Yeah. I mean, they've already said, James Comer has already said, and what's his name? Who do I keep thinking of? Tom Cotton have said, Hunter can't take the fifth now. I mean, they're not gonna ever stop. I mean,
no,
go ahead. Yeah.
They won't. And again, this allows Democrats to do their favorite thing, have a circular firing squad and fight each other over something. I mean, look, yes, Joe Biden said he wouldn't pardon Hunter. That's before Man-Baby put Kash Patel in charge of the FBI. No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the investigation and the facts they found out. But again, let's remind each other, Republicans must really care about the children of powerful people doing business deals. They must really care about politicians paying their taxes, and they really care about properly registered firearms. That's what all this is about. It's nothing but harassment. And, you know, when did Hunter Biden steal classified documents? When did he have terrorists attack our Capitol? When did he try to overturn an election or get $2 billion from the Saudis for covering up murder? I mean, come on, man. Look at our ambassador to France and tell me that you care about Hunter Biden's pardon.
Yeah. Oh, please. He pardoned 200 and something more criminals, murderers, traitors, on and on. Anyway.
Joe Arpaio, Dinesh D'Souza, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Steve Bannon, Charles Kushner. Don't tell me y'all care about crime. Don't tell me y'all care. And again, Hunter Biden is an addict. And the same mercy they deny Hunter Biden, they want you to shower all over Pete Hegseth.
I, for one, was glad that Meghan McCain finally spoke out against, what did she call Hunter? A Nepo baby.
Nepo baby.
Thank God, finally. Did you know who her dad was, by the
What?
way? I had no idea.
No, who?
I forget. I hope she brings it up again. But yeah.
You said helpful tip, if you voted for a guy who openly stole money from Americans with a scam online university, you don't ever get to complain to the rest of us about respecting our laws. Now sit down and wait for billionaires to care about you.
Thank you. Yeah, they're criminals, and you guys don't care about crime, and we all know what's going on here. Look, folks, it's discouraging seeing the bad guys win. Take some comfort from the fact that they're really stupid. Just don't forget to stop and smell the train wreck, because Donald Trump didn't just suddenly become competent or honest or a good man or less racist or not a sex predator, and his flunkies did not suddenly become statesmen. These people are going to declare war on each other. It's a nest full of narcissists, and they're all going to turn on each other like they did the last time. Look at Rudy Giuliani. Look at Rudy Giuliani and see the prequel for people in this cabinet who trust Donald Trump.
Yep. You tweeted Pete Hegseth is going down so hard, Trump's going to have to pay him hush money. Now,
Yeah, sorry
that's
about
a
that.
funny
Sorry,
joke. That
folks.
is a funny
Sorry.
joke. But
Sorry, folks. Sorry.
do you? So what do you? It's so hard to tell. Like they're all such a bag of vipers. You know what I mean? Like you can't tell whether he's floating DeSantis to then ultimately humiliate DeSantis, or whether he's waiting because he's been pressuring him to give Lara Trump Rubio's seat.
It's all bribery. Well, look,
yeah.
I mean, Pam.
Now MAGA's mad at Joni Ernst for not, saying that she's going to vote
they
yes.
hate her. I told you, they're all turning on each other. Joni Ernst wants to be Secretary of Defense herself, but she can't because she wasn't there for Trump in Iowa, so that's never going to happen. The only reason we know Ron DeSantis was offered this job as a backup is because Donald Trump leaked it. So Pete Hegseth is already done like disco, people. That's over. We won't even be talking about him after Tuesday.
I hear disco's making a comeback. No.
Not Pete Hegseth isn't. This is the cabinet of hacks, quacks, and the sex pest nest. And it's not going to get any better, these mugshots. So DeSantis would be smart to take the job, because then he's going to be primed as being Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense in 2028, and he can crush J.D. Vance like a bug, as opposed to if he was just former governor, now unemployed Ron DeSantis. These people all hate each other. Don't forget, they don't believe in anything.
Yeah,
they only believe in what helps them. If being nice to transgender children suddenly helped them, they would compete with each other to be nice to transgender. They believe in nothing but themselves, and
DeSantis
we always know this ends like Scarface.
Yeah. DeSantis would definitely be the best choice if Disney attacks us. I feel safer already. I thought this was a good life tip. You said inner peace can save your life, but external rage is an adequate backup. I go back and forth between both. I think those are going to be our coping mechanisms.
Well, I know you guys have been talking about the assassination in New York City, but I think in terms of rage, we really, and by we I mean the Democratic Party and politicians, could learn a lot about this, because this guy was shot around the corner from where we work at the Sirius XM studios. It turns out the killer was staying at the hospice around the corner from my kid's school. I walked past it 2 days ago, and I thought, why are all the reporters here? It's so cold. Look, let's agree on a couple things. Gun violence is always wrong.
Yeah.
Murder is always wrong. You know what else is always evil and wrong? A system that values profit over lives and makes people go bankrupt and make horrible, devastating decisions about healthcare versus basic life needs. Now, the amount of vitriol that came out for this CEO after his tragic, horrible, awful murder that never should have happened. But the amount of hatred for this evil company, and let's not kid ourselves, this guy oversaw their AI where they had a 90% error rate, having bots turn down your claims.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes your blood boil just hearing the amount of money they make every year. I just got my premium bill.
$10 million.
It's gone up, I don't know, $200-300 a month. I mean, it's insane. And we were talking about
money. They make this money exploiting people's fear during the worst times of their life. Did you see all the cops that were standing around the crime scene? Did you see the $10,000 reward up right away? Even in death, the 1% have greater access to justice than the rest of us. The amount of police at that crime scene, because the health insurance industries, they've killed more people than serial killers. They've killed more people than all the illegal aliens combined. But these guys make money, and that's why they're respected for it.
Yeah.
So the billions of profit they make and the amount of hatred from both parties that was all over social media. Read the comment section in the Times of the Post. I mean, this poor man was hated in his own death, and I think a smart Democratic Party that's looking for takeaways for where people are at should realize he was there for an investors meeting. There should not be investors meetings dealing with your kids' healthcare or your mom's healthcare. The healthcare industry is an investor's dream because healthcare in this country is only about profits. Everyone knows it. Republicans know it as well. Now, I'm not trying to sound like Bernie here, but a smart Democrat would realize, what if we took advantage of this and instead of taking money from the insurance agencies, took on the insurance agency
Medicare
and
for
reminded
all
everyone
is such a
Democrats
no-brainer.
are the only party that's
and by the
ever
way,
cared.
resistance works. I just mentioned this story about the other healthcare company, Blue Cross Blue Shield, who backed down on going, okay, we'll cover the anesthesia for your whole surgery then.
The next day they backed down.
Right.
Because,
Like
and
South
again,
Korea. South Korea shut that down by dinner. So resistance does work.
But in this case, it wasn't activists, it wasn't politicians, it wasn't our protests. It was violence that caused change with Blue Cross Blue Shield, not turning off your anesthesia halfway through because you hit the limit. I mean, my God, these people are evil. The average claim rate for denial of agencies is 16%. United Healthcare, 32%, double the average. People hate this insurance conglomerate monster that doesn't help our country. It doesn't help disease. It doesn't help the public health. It just helps a few guys get really rich off of the diseases and the suffering of people you love. So a smart Democrat comes in and says, hey, you know what? Let's just lower the Medicare age to 50.
Yeah.
Let's lower Medicare to 40. Don't
By the
freak
way,
people out.
the
Just say, let's lower the Medicare age 20 years.
By the way, the
Start taking
surgery
power
thing
away from these folks.
The surgery thing is evil. Like what they're saying is they're going to turn your anesthesia off, but they aren't going to pay. Like there's a prescribed time for that surgery, and they won't pay for it. I mean, that's
your
what you want,
surgeons
right?
better
It's
be
like
really,
they
really
want that.
good.
You want that Marine that calls people a jackwagon, like in the operating room, yelling at your surgeon, right? Like, hurry up, slowpoke.
Can you imagine?
If the surgery goes a little longer than it's supposed to, that's what you want. Is someone in there with a stopwatch going, hurry up.
And too many Democrats, God bless them, won't take on the system because they so depend on the donations. And they know if they take on the system, the healthcare conglomerates will finance a primary challenger for them.
Yeah.
I say if you're at a safe district, you got a few years, go for it anyway. This is the issue Democrats can build and rebuild around.
Jody.
And conservatives will be on your side. The Democrats are the only party that has fought for patient protection in the last 25 years. They own this issue already. It's time to start using it.
Jody, I think last time I had surgery, someone left a sponge in my brain. I forget. How do you come for John Fugelsang on the Bible?
You don't.
Okay, that's correct.
Yeah.
John Fugelsang.
My brain worm ate my brain sponge. Go on.
You tweeted the only sexual sins Jesus actually condemned were adultery and dumping your wife. Looking at you, Trump Christians. Looking at
That's
you, Pete
it.
Hegseth.
That's it. I am so over these people pretending any of this is Christian. I am done with these people. And I'm done with your family and loved ones pretending they're Christian and putting up their little baby Jesus, little brown-skinned refugee ornaments around their house while hating the real deal. Here's all you got to say at your Christmas table. Ready? Why should I believe that people who support Donald Trump care about what Jesus actually said? That's the only question you need to ask them. Why should I believe people who would vote for the opposite of everything in the Gospels actually give a rat's ass about what this brown-skinned, homeless, nonviolent Nazarene actually said, and make your loved ones prove they know nothing about the Bible? They just presume baby Jesus hates the same people they do.
All right, speaking of which, before you go, you have to cast our movie that we just talked about before the break.
Yep. Yes.
A nun was among 25 people arrested in Italy on suspicion of being part of a criminal gang with links to the country's most powerful mafia network.
Yes.
The nun is alleged to have been the conduit between the gang and its associates in prison. And we were, because I was saying most of my nuns, I think, were mobbed up in Catholic. Sister Dorothy, for sure. But anyway, I'm just, because your parents were clergy.
Let's be honest. This is Rome. I mean, if people ever understood how crooked the Vatican Bank is with the mob, and how the Vatican was laundering mob murder money, they'd lose their minds. But for this, part of me wants to say she's like 90, but Shirley MacLaine could do this in her sleep. But I think maybe it's a rom-com with no rom with Marissa Tomei as a feisty nun, shuttling secrets back and forth between Cosa Nostra crime lords and rancid Italian
It's
jails.
like a mafia, the mafia dead man walking nun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it's a rom-com with no rom. That's what it is.
Hey, John, did you know this is the last weekend to buy L.A. Sexy Liberal, the extravaganza with Mark Hamill and Adam Schiff and Glenn Kirshner and Politics Girl. Get re-energized, laugh, and get re-energized for the fight. We're going to have another big Sexy Liberal announcement on Monday. But get it only $20 to support progressive infrastructure and all these heroes like John Peter was saying.
Everybody who is burned out now, you will not feel this way. Trust me. Morning Joe and Mika will have good ratings again. CNN will have good ratings again after January 20th.
Morning Joe and Mika were gone missing this morning.
Oh, no,
with
really?
no explanation.
No, they wanted time to grovel at home alone with the kids. Yeah, look, people are going to come back to it. Go ahead and lick your wounds now.
No, they need to replace it. They need to replace it. They need to.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
There's a lot of
everybody else.
You know what? How about John Fugel saying in the morning? How about that, MSNBC? Yeah. Let's go.
They can't handle the truth. But everyone's going to come back. Everyone's licking their wounds now. Believe me, Donald Trump is going to unite this country in ways you've never seen. January 20th.
But we need
We're
fighters.
We're going to inaugurate a racist on MLK Day, people. We're inaugurating a racist on MLK Day.
We need the David Frums and the Harry Littman who just resigned the LA Times because of their bending the knee. We need Olivia Troyes, who's like you, Kash Patel. I'm not going to retract the truth. That's what we need. That's what we need. So, and you're one of them, my friend. Yay!
Yeah, I got the scars to prove it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Not being ashamed of who you are is really worth it. Everyone who's proud that you didn't support the Iraq War, be proud that you voted against this hump 3 times. History's going to prove you're right again. Start looking good for it.
I just like hump. Yeah. Okay, love you. Goodbye.
Thanks, John.
SexyLiberal.com. This portion of the Good morning, Charlie.
Oh, good morning, all. How's everyone? Good day, sunshine.
Thank you. Your piece echoes exactly what we've been talking about the last couple of days. Hunter Biden's pardon has all the idiots riled up. Yep. I mean, seriously, Charlie.
Well, not just it's bipartisan.
Thank you.
Too.
Yes, that's what we were saying. What's with the pearl clutchers? Are you kidding me? Trump has smashed every norm in the universe, and we're supposed to be like. I was saying Claire McCaskill yesterday.
Have these people not heard of Billy Carter?
Right.
Of Roger Clinton?
Right.
Of Neil Bush, whose brother and father were presidents of the United States?
Thank you, but
the guy who would go on business trips to Thailand and beautiful Thai hookers would show up in his hotel room unannounced. And say, would you like to have a boom boom with me?
Now suddenly I'm hungry for some pad moon sen and a Thai hooker. Okay.
Good Lord.
When aren't you hungry for a Thai hooker?
A little patai. I don't know, something. Okay. Charlie.
The woman who put the pad in pad Thai.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A little paddling, a little pad Thai. Charlie, I was saying earlier about Claire McCaskill. Oh, I understand why he did it, but he said he wasn't going to. Charlie, leaders react to new information. The new information is Trump won the election and is going to put lunatics like Kash Patel and Matt Gaetz in charge. What father in the universe would have?
On his podcast, Keith Olbermann suggested that he now pardon all 100 million Americans who Trump is going to go after.
Yeah. By the way, Charlie, I'm very disappointed you've not made Kash Patel's enemies list. What's going on? You need to up your game.
I'm not working hard enough, obviously. I didn't make your list of important liberals either, by the way, when you were reciting
We were
them.
talking about people with podcasts and radio shows and liberal.
Well, okay, I'll have to go get me one of them.
Get you one of those.
I think it'd be. I would listen to a podcast hosted by you. I would.
There you go. I just loved your opening. You said, I myself has always thought because you, him, her, them, that's why, to be a perfectly adequate explanation for any action taken. You said the difference, the president-elect is saying because you, that's why, to democracy, while the current president is saying because you, that's why, to the president-elect. And frankly, that makes all the difference. This is a 34-count convicted felon adjudicated rapist, and we're seriously talking about, wetting the bed over whether it is a proper norm for,
And American politician reverses opinion on something.
Right. With new information. Right, with new information. And you say this has caused, of course, the birth of many bovines across the starboard half of politics. This started with the president-elect, who will be free to pardon all his shock troops from January 6th against the government a month from now, which, by the way, he's already said 11 billion times he's going to do. He's not doing it because of the Hunter Biden pardon.
Right. That's another thing. But we don't have we don't have the moral credibility to attack him when he does it.
Oh, please. Yeah. Yeah, you quoted, oh God, Andy Biggs, noted insurrectionist, Republican, said that Biden will go down as one of the most corrupt presidents in American history. You said, says the guy who was begging for a pardon back in 21 when it looked like he might be joining the rest of the hostages, quote unquote, in the Hooskow. And then, of course, Mr. Haney chimed in, as you call, what's his name?
Comer. Jim Comer, Mr.
Right,
Haney.
right. Oh, yes. He does look like Mr. Haney.
He does.
Yeah, President Biden and his family continue to do everything they can to avoid accountability. I keep saying, Charlie, they're trying to rewrite history, right? Like he found nothing, but they just keep repeating it. Biden, crime, family, corruption. They took all this money, blah blah blah, based on nothing.
Burisma.
Right. At the same moment, he what do you call it? Nominates what's Kushner, who he pardoned for I don't even. Oh God, his. By the way, Chris Christie said the most despicable, disgusting crime he ever prosecuted. I mean, where do you even start? Yeah, and you said the true news bookend to the Hunter Biden pardon was the announcement that Kash Patel, the living embodiment of the president-elect's unslaked thirst for vengeance, would be nominated to head the FBI.
This is like what's that cartoon movie from a couple of years ago where they had the personifications of all the emotions? What was it called?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Carlos was in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the inside out of Trump's vengeance.
Stephanie Miller.
In the house, jump, rejoices. There's a party over here, a party over there. Wave your hands in the air, shake the dairy, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. There it is. Whoop, yep, whoop, yep. There we go. Hi, Deborah in Denver. Hiya.
Hi, Stephanie. Remember I hugged you in Denver when you came for the Sexy Liberal show in June?
I do. Of course I do.
Oh, I really loved seeing and meeting you guys.
Thank you.
Anyway, I just have a little thing that I wanted to say to Mike Bloomberg, who's upset about the condition of having RFK run the health department. I want him to pull on his big boy pants, probably has some somewhere, and start a network for liberals.
There you go.
Yep.
Or he's got other friends who could help him afford it.
Yeah.
And I'm really upset that he hasn't done it yet. He could be making millions, maybe not as much as Fox, because they have that special deal with UHF.
Yeah.
But I'm so upset at him for not even suggesting it. He just goes out there and bitches about the situation, and he's got billions.
Well, I hope.
And where is he?
I agree, and I hope enough. I will get into this. It was a Max Burns piece. Don't we love it, Chris, when they mention Air America?
Oh yeah, Air America did a lot of good.
Oh my God. Yes, worst business plan ever. I'm telling you, there is a huge market for what we're doing, and I hope that somebody is paying attention. Fighters with Frangela next.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
This is nonsense. Nobody's going to be going after Liz Cheney and some of the other people that they've mentioned along the way. We've got work to do. Now, on the same note, people want accountability. So I do think on the Oversight Committee, there'll be a continued investigation of the highly corrupt actions taken by Hunter under the oversight and direction likely and assistance and support of Joe Biden. But that's certainly not going to distract from the important issues that we need to deliver over the next 4 years.
That was some Republican douchebag. It doesn't matter who. Really? They're not going to go after Liz Cheney because wasn't it, who was it? I know. It was Donald Trump that said she should be, have a televised tribunal. Yeah. I believe after which she would be executed, I think, is pretty much.
Yeah. And I love how all of these people are saying Trump has never been about retribution. No, when in March of 2023, he said, quote, I am your retribution.
And also they said, we're not about retribution, but we're going to continue to persecute Hunter for sure. Oh, my God. Yes. You know what? You are bigger patriots than I even initially thought. I cannot believe you showed up. What with the Roscoes?
Oh, my goodness.
Sacrilege, blasphemy. Okay, I sent you Jamel Hill's tweet. She said, I saw an IG post about a Donald Trump inflatable doll that was positioned outside of Roscoe's, and I honestly thought it was a prank. It turns out the relatively new owners of Roscoe's are Trump supporters, considering most of Roscoe's are in black neighborhoods, and that's their primary customer base. Putting that inflatable doll up and removing the Obama special from the menu seems particularly stupid. It's going to be a no from me, dog. Now, I apologize for passing that. I felt it was my patriotic duty to pass that on to you.
To say that I don't understand why we have a Justice Department and stuff like this is allowed to happen.
It's allowed.
Why do we have laws?
Well, you know what happened. My response was, Stephanie, was pure screaming.
I have your response. This is what the video that Francis sent me this week. Here we go. 6. Oh, yes. 6. Okay. All right. Here we go. And scene.
Lord, say it ain't so. Not the skulls. Not the skulls. Not the skulls. You mean to tell me I can't order from the skulls no more? Oh, Lord. The Nazis.
To which I just wrote back, #overactor. But anyway,
yes.
I feel your pain is real, but you know.
Because I can't have it anymore.
No.
It's over. It's over.
No.
I will not knowingly give Trump supporters my money.
No.
I won't. I just won't.
Why do we have pitchforks if we're not going to go out as a community
right, and get our
and take care of this problem?
Okay.
Why?
If you were still wondering,
I thought this election was bad. I had no idea how rotten this country had become.
Absolutely.
If you were wondering, can we still have nice things? The answer is obviously no. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Clearly no.
Yeah.
Clearly no.
Yeah. And
I will be figuring out how to fry chicken at home.
That's
now,
right.
That's gonna require some. I'm gonna be injured. That's okay.
No, Rodney.
Rodney
King. We cannot all just get along. This is a line in the sand.
Are we going to need to invest in a waffle maker?
It will not be business as usual, people.
No,
it will not.
No.
This is war. You don't come for me. Come for me in my house.
You know what? I see what the new
calm.
I see what the new world order looks like. Okay, and it is chickenless.
Okay. You know what? I do not save Black Stack to trigger you, but I feel it's my duty as the blackest hour in radio, this hour, to report to you. Oh dear! I just when I thought when we were free of Diamond and Silk.
Oh God!
I didn't. Have you heard of the Black conservative podcast duo, the Hodge Twins?
No.
Yeah, they gave former Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard David Duke an N-word pass during an interview on their show.
David Duke used the N-word?
No.
They gave him
This
a
is
pass if he used it.
prank that these
Got it.
conservative black hosts thought was funny, I guess. They said, we've got a gift for you. You probably don't need it. It's the N-word pass, before handing Duke a card which read N-word pass in all caps. Duke then held the card up to the camera and said, N-word pass, and then they all chuckled.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when we decide we're not going to be violent.
Yep.
And I need us to revisit these choices that we've made, because some children, that's the only way they learn.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Now we got twin biscuit makers.
Well, you know what?
I don't even know if there's a biscuit rating for this story. No.
Let me tell you something. If you ever seen the Hodge, is that what their name is? Hodge?
Yeah. Hodge Twins. Mm-hmm.
If you ever seen the Hodge Twins make biscuits and marmalade at the same time, it is incredible. First of all, they do it on unicycles.
Yes, it's a feat.
It's an amazing thing to watch. Now, when they leave the kitchen and they're not on their unicycles, they're a hot mess. You should not have anything to do with them.
Can I say, and they seem like really
That's
fantastic. Oh, they're bodybuilding.
Yes.
Black conservative.
Yes, they are.
Oh, Jesus. They seem like excellent interviews. They asked David Duke whether he was ever sexually attracted to black women during his time in the Klan. Duke responded, "No, I never was. I was always partial to white girls." Well, that was a shocking question and answer there.
A part of me has died, and I don't know what we're going to do, if we're going to have a little ceremony.
I'm going to invite
I'd like
you
to lay it to rest.
You know what? This is what's disgusting, about the fact that anybody can go out there and just hold a mic, is that they invited the Ku Klux Klan wizard X to sexualize black women.
Sure.
And, and don't see it. Don't see
care.
their part in and don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care about their part in it. Can't see their part in it.
Yes.
They just want to be famous.
Yeah.
Let me be clear about something.
Yeah.
There's idiots, and then there's whatever they are. There are dumb people, and then there's whatever the Hodge mess is. Where is the FDA, or is there a genetic board that checks things? Because we can't, please tell me they don't have children, because we can't have that spreading through the world. That is some kind of fungi. I don't know what it is, but it's dangerous and
It is dangerous and contagious.
But at least we'll know where they all are. All the dumb black people are going to be at a Klan meeting.
Right. And getting on the boat.
I can't with them.
I also, in the FAFO file, the Around and Find Out file, what was it? Black Trump supporters are shocked that they're not in his cabinet.
Yeah.
Tim Scott's married
Byron
a
Donalds.
a whole white wife.
Yeah.
A whole lady person.
Why did I marry this woman? What, Lord, what am I doing? How did I get here?
It's so weird how none of them are qualified.
We're having record, like, what are we calling it? Buyer's remorse, FAFO. Oh, our new hero is Moses Law on TikTok. Have you seen her? Wait, where's this one? Real quick.
I really don't have words for it. And we're going to keep laughing. We're going to laugh for the next 4 years at y'all stupidity. We're going to laugh. Because we told you. We warned you. We explained. We did everything that we were supposed to do. And y'all still did what y'all wanted to do. So yes, we gonna laugh. Because what you don't get to do is be the villain and the victim. Pick a side and be on it. You don't get to be the villain and the victim. You don't. That is not how this works. You don't get to vote Cruella de Vil in the office and then walk around asking where all the puppies went. You know where they went. You voted Cruella in. That's where they went. So we gonna laugh. Oh, we gonna laugh. We gonna have a hearty chuckle at your expense. So deal
all
with
day
it.
long.
Great day.
Because they know we're told you can't. We're not allowed to say we told you so. So it's gonna be a long 4 years for me.
Why aren't we allowed to say that? It fits.
This is your I told you so central. This is what this is gonna be. This is not where we're gonna come for civility.
No. I'm gonna be like, we hope they get everything they asked for. Really do. Every single thing they asked for, I hope they get it day one.
I was saying if they just voted against their self-interest and they're the ones going to be hurt, but we're all going to be hurt. And that's what they voted for, is to hurt us. So I'm sorry if you now want me to go, oh, I'm sorry that,
Nope. Not sorry at all. Nope. We're going to make a t-shirt, NMF, not my fault. NMF.
All right.
Not my fault. And whenever they have a problem, I'm going to point, not my fault. Yep.
All right, give me some more. Give me one more Moses Law.
FAFO on TikTok is the greatest thing that happened to the internet in I know 10 years. When I say I done laughed, I have laughed till I've cried. Watching these MAGA people figure out how bad they messed up in real time, it really is a thing of beauty. And I got word today that they have issued a warning that we better stop. That this FAFO thing needs to calm down, and we need to stop making fun of them and laughing at them. They don't want to be laughed at. It's not funny.
We're changing the name of the show to what did we decide? Schadenfreude and Snark in the morning.
Yes.
Everybody.
Good butt, everybody.
I mean, you don't want us to laugh. Stop doing funny stuff. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Seriously, absolutely not. There will not be a day that I don't laugh at them. There will not be a day that you're going to put WWE up in a cabinet and then be confused. Dr. Oz in front of Medicare and then go turn around and be like, what happened to my Medicare? Look.
Right. No, brain worms. Brain worms.
Brain worms,
You
whale
voted-
juice. Whale juice.
Voted in brain worms. The day one, I couldn't work there because day one, word one, I would have to start. He said something out of his mouth. I would say, I'm sorry. Sir, who's speaking, you or the worms?
Is that the brain
I
worm
want to
talking?
know who I'm addressing.
I'd rather talk to the worms.
And how many times can somebody do the joke about Pete Hegseth, right? Doesn't want women in combat, and he sends his mommy out to fight his battles. It's just...
These people,
the best.
you cannot expect me to act right. You just cannot. It is not appropriate. My behavior is appropriate.
Yes. No, what Hemsworth's own mama said.
You keep doing that Hemsworth thing. It's not a Hemsworth.
Is it a Hemsworth? Is it a Hemsworth?
No, he's a...
No.
What
Hegseth.
is that?
Hey,
He's a
Hegseth.
They nice people.
Hegseth and the Angry Inch, as we call his penis. Okay.
It's
funny. Okay.
You know, these people, I'm trying to figure out how they think they're gonna go to the bathroom all over this country and then act like we got the problem. Mm-hmm. They are untrained. They're worse. They're not even puppies. What's an ugly animal? What's the ugly animal that wanders around causing grief? Skunk.
Honey badger.
No, honey badgers aren't ugly. They're cute.
Are they?
Yeah. And relentless.
They don't care.
No, they don't care.
No.
Okay.
Something rabid.
All right. 19 minutes. We'll think of it. 19 minutes after the hour. Hello, Michael.
Hey.
Can I tell
haven't
you?
heard that in a while.
Can I tell you how many listeners sent me this piece? And this was like, when Harry Met Sally, my entire way through this, I was like, oh, yes, yes. Oh, God, right there. Yes, Michael, yes.
Yeah. A lot of people read it. That was good. And, thanks for helping spread the word.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to everybody I know. Well, your newer pieces, we're entering a world where the rule of law is turned inside out. That's not important now. Let's go back to this piece.
We knew that.
Well, Michael, in some ways, you and I have been talking about this for years. I've been talking about it. You've been talking about it. But I just feel like nobody nailed it exactly the way you did. The piece is, why does no one understand the real reason Trump won? I would read the entire piece to you on Steffi's book club here, readers, but we link to it. So I urge you.
At StephanieMiller.com.
There you go. Let me just set it up a little bit. You said, you're just talking about all of the post-election analysis, what happened. You just said, why didn't a majority of voters see all these things that we think are obvious about Trump? You said, understanding the answer to that question is how we dig ourselves out of this tragic mess. The answer is right-wing media. Today, the right-wing media, Fox News, Newsmax, One America News Network, Sinclair radio and TV stations and newspapers, iHeartMedia, the Christian radio, Elon Musk's X, the huge podcasts like Rogan's and much more set the news agenda in this country, and they fed their audience a diet of slanted and distorted information that made it possible for Trump to win. And then you talk about not the New York Times, not the Washington Post. In fact, they bent over backwards to exert no influence when Bezos pulled the paper's Harris endorsement, not CBS, NBC, ABC. They're all following, Michael, is your point, right? They're all following the agenda set by the right wing, whatever you want to call it.
I think this is the first presidential campaign when it was just crystal clear that the right-wing media did more to set the news agenda than the mainstream media. I've been covering campaigns since, I don't want to say which one. But,
I remember.
Yeah. But no, it goes way back. And I remember when Fox News came on the air. It was October of 1996, so right in the heat of an election. And so that was your first big right-wing media thing that you had to pay. Well, look, Rush Limbaugh and his imitators on talk radio a few years before that, in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Then comes Fox, and then you start to think, okay, well, the right-wing media is a separate and distinct thing from the mainstream media, and it's becoming a thing. But the mainstream media was still much bigger, and even into the 21st century, into the Bush years, and then into the Obama years, the mainstream media was still the agenda-setting media. But that started to change over the course of the Obama years, definitely changed during Trump's first term. And so now, I think it's clear that we hear people who listen to this show, people like us, you hear right-wing media and you think Fox and maybe a couple other things, but all those things I listed are really important, and they get people at the local level and at all kinds of different platforms, from podcasts and YouTube to cable TV.
Let's talk about the solution, because I've been screaming this forever, and it might seem self-serving, but as I always say, Mike, I'm not talking about just me. I'm talking about this whole ecosphere that you're talking about. You said rich liberals are the only people in the world who have the power to do something about this state of affairs, take some action. We've been screaming this since forever. You said billionaires on the right have invested far more heavily in media in the last 2 decades than their counterparts on the left. And you said this is the year it became obvious right-wing media has more power than the mainstream media. It's not just that it's bigger, it's that it speaks with one voice, and that voice says Democrats and liberals are treasonous elites who hate you, and Republicans and conservatives love God and country, and you are your last line of defense against your son coming home from school, your daughter. And that's why Donald Trump won. Indeed, the right-wing media is why he exists in our political lives in the first place. And then you did a great thought experiment, Michael, where you said, imagine he comes down the escalator with no right-wing media. I mean, more than one person has said Nixon wouldn't have had to resign if there had been Fox News in this right-wing ecosphere, right?
Yeah. No, if you think back to the early days of Trump, 2015, 2016, it was entirely Fox and certain websites and certain podcasts.
trouble. I'm all on by that bass, no trouble. I'm all on by that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass.
Yeah, what? Fridays with Frangela. Hello, you're welcome. Hi. Hey, don't forget you can get the LA Sexy Liberal show just this weekend at sexyliberal.com. $20. Support this whole progressive universe. And then Monday we're going to have a brand new Sexy Liberal announcement. But if you want to catch the fever, right, Frangela? The joy, the fun, the laughter, the energy we're going to need in this, going forward.
Let me tell you, it's about to happen. Get ready.
Yes, we've started talking about just, bravery. We've obviously, there was another Joe and Mika thing this week where they apologized for some, joke that David Frum made. And so he just wrote a piece about the climate of fear that's making them go grovel to Mar-a-Lago. Good for David Frum. Good for Harry Litman, who quit the LA Times because of them trying to, bend the knee to Donald Trump. Good for Olivia Troy for standing up to Kash Patel and saying, I am not going to retract the truth. I mean, that's what we're going to need, right?
Did you say that, Mika, that they weren't on today?
They were not on. They had gone missing, and there was no explanation given.
Well, it has been explained. They're going to Arkansas.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
They're going to Arkansas to interview President Clinton.
They're going to interview President Clinton, but
did they know that we have these things called planes? They don't have to. Are they walking, biking, Oregon trailing it? Because
and Scarborough
had guesses they have a plane of their own. So I don't. Why we got to take off today?
Well, no, and also he invited Frum to come back today, and NBC invited Frum to come back today. So there's something going on. There's something going down over there. I don't know. And it was interesting. There was just no explanation.
I know you said Fugelsang in the mornings, which I would think would be wonderful, but I'm gonna stay off my phone in case they try to contact me and Francis.
Yes. Well, Angela and I just opened up the department of Something Ain't Right. Okay.
Oh, did you? Huh?
Mm-hmm. And this is definitely in the department of Something Ain't Right.
Yeah, something going down.
We have full warrant authority. We know when something's not right. Something's not right.
I'm telling you, it's not a surprise to me. They lost half their audience in a week, basically. And I think they're, someone else, by the way, Chris, wrote the same thing I said, is they're bringing down the whole network. Morning shows tend to, set up the day either way. And I said my favorite morning show ever was Morning Joy. They have so much great talent there. Where there's Joy Reid that I was saying the Weekend Show, I think is great with Michael Steele and Simone Sanders and Alicia Menendez. Who else were we saying? Ali Velshi, Stephanie Rule would be a good, Jen Psaki, Katie Fang. Yeah. Because I mean, they literally, what was it yesterday? 22 minutes. They screamed at their audience and whined about, the backlash that they're, and now this has just compounded it, this whole David Frum thing.
Yeah, these people, what I find fascinating about the MAGA people and people who basically support them and make them possible is this idea they don't never conceive of what an actual conversation is. Like, they have their part of it, but you're supposed to just sit there and smile at them. They never have the thought, the things I do and say will be reacted to.
Yeah.
Okay. And what we are saying is we don't want to watch you. We don't want to listen to your voices. That's what we're saying.
All right, MSNBC, their phones are clear now. Frangela in the morning.
Yeah. Any second.
MSNBC.
Any second.
There are consequences. You talking about the consequences we told y'all about before y'all voted like this? Because we're not laughing at the consequences, because ultimately we are going to have to suffer the consequences of your actions. We are going to have to suffer for your uninformed and ignorant vote. So we're not laughing at the consequences. We are laughing because we told you and you didn't listen. And now you all over there acting befuddled, bewildered, and confused that things are happening as we said they would. We are laughing at the sheer amount of people that have Googled, how can I change my vote? The fact that y'all don't know you can't change your vote is not only funny, it's sad, and...
Thank you, Moses Law. I think I'm going to lose count of the number of times I'm going to say nanny, nanny, boo-boo in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, these people, no. Here's the thing. We didn't just tell you. They told you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trump told you
Thank
exactly
you.
what he was going to do.
Yeah.
There are no surprises here. You're just ignorant by choice.
Yep. There's a book called Project 2025 where they put down
He wrote it down.
everything you
Agenda
needed to
47.
know.
Cash Patel wrote down his enemies list. Wait, you got to skip to 15. All these right wingers, whether it's Larry Trump, this is Larry Kudlow saying Trump's not about retribution. Why would you ever think he'd do that?
Democrats are now asking Joe Biden for a preemptive pardon, of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Tony Fauci. Well, what is this all about? Preemptive pardons, for heaven's sake.
Well. Plus, didn't they just criticize? Well, they went after some of my colleagues who they said asked for pardons. I don't know that they ever did, but some of my colleagues who supposedly that they went after them, and now they're doing the same thing. This is ridiculous. Donald Trump has never been about retribution.
Right.
Donald Trump has been stopping these agencies from being weaponized against we the people, and frankly, from being weaponized against him and all the lawfare that we saw unfold.
Chris, who said, I will be your retribution?
That would be Donald J. Trump back in March of 2023.
Chris got it right.
Oh, my goodness, Chris.
March of 2023. I remember that date like a date that shall live in infamy.
I say Biden goes Oprah on their ass, and you get a pardon, and you get a pardon. I mean, right?
Yeah, and they also need to leave the country.
Yeah.
I really think. I'm like, y'all need to leave.
Yeah, Lara Trump insisted Trump has no intention of retribution or revenge. She said there's no... I can't even read anything that says Lara Trump says. Okay. Yeah, he says, I would say anyone, if anyone's done anything wrong, then maybe they should be worried, not because of Donald Trump, but maybe they've broken the law. None of these people have done anything wrong. He has no intention of retribution or revenge. Chris, who said, I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of America, Joe Biden, and go after the Biden crime family. Who said that?
Simon Bar Sinister.
No, I can't believe you just said President. Oh, I almost said it. Trump said it in June. That'd be in June, Frangela.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. Trust this man's nature. This is what's going to happen. We're going to watch it go down. It's so interesting to me because I never thought that we would ever repeat the McCarthy era.
Yeah.
But I believe that we're about to see it again.
Yeah.
Well, he did these things when he was in office. I mean, he put, what's his name? Michael.
Flynn.
The lawyer.
No, Cohen.
Cohen. Yeah. Michael Cohen. Remember they put him back in prison? We've watched him go after people.
Yeah.
That's not the only reason he didn't go after more people or get to do more of it was because there were people in the place of those government offices, like in the Justice Department, that didn't do it.
And half the people on the list are people from the Trump administration that he appointed. So if anything is bipartisan, it's this, right?
I don't even care. I am so over, Democrats. Look. This is not business as usual. This is not hands across the aisle. This is not. I think that whole method of thinking has to change because that's what we call appeasement to these people.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
That's
By
not
the way,
trying to find a way forward. That is appeasement.
I'm glad Jerry Nadler dropped out and endorsed Jamie Raskin for is it Intelligence Committee? Because he did DC Sexy Liberal with us, and hopefully will again in January. He's a fighter. That's what we need.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, we need
absolutely.
Yeah,
and we need fire. We need fire. Yeah. Here's the thing. When I think that we need to look at our whole sea of tools in terms of people, and really, really appoint people who can lead this charge, the fight we're in right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Hang on. I need to pull the show over for a moment. This is a new guest for the Take Your Line of Bull Down to the Five and Dime soundbite that I haven't. Hi, Gina in California. Hello, in Cambria.
Hey, Stephanie Miller. This is Gina in Cambria. I have an answer here. It's Kim Cartel, I believe, from the Sex and the City in the very beginning.
Kim Cattrall
or maybe
from
Marsha
Sex...
Mason.
Or maybe Marsha.
We've heard Marsha Mason before. It's not Marsha Mason.
Okay, but that's an interesting guess. All right.
Kim Cattrall
from Sex and the City. Oh, maybe.
What do we talk about?
We don't know where this, we're going to die not knowing where this soundbite comes from.
Oh, bitch, please take your line of bull down to the corner market and sell it there, because this five and dime isn't buying your line today.
I don't think that's Kim Cattrall.
It does sound like Kim Cattrall.
I don't think so.
No, it's not.
All right, and now back to the countdown. Go ahead, your thoughts.
Look, y'all, you can't be victims and villains. So let me explain something to you. Every time we all lose something, I'm gonna look at you and go, "How's it feel? You got what you wanted. How's it feel?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because again, you voted to hurt me. You voted thinking I'm only going to get hurt, and now when we all get hurt, you can't expect me to go. Oh, I mean, like I said, if they only voted against their own self-interest and hurt themselves, I'd feel, sad for them at least. But like they voted to hurt us.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Which is why I believe we also have a gallows humor around it right now, which is the scales have been removed from our eyes long ago, right?
Yes.
And so then you're looking over at the other person who's next to you with these rose-colored glasses talking about, how are we next to each other?
And can I say, Chris, what's America's early warning system?
Black ladies.
Oh, for God's sakes, what's wrong with you people? If you've seen the cartoon, right? The black lady sitting on the roof having drinks, watching everything burn with the 92%. 92% voted the right way. It's like...
I can't.
We can't do anymore.
We can't do
anymore for this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If y'all don't show up, and I'm going to tell you something, we cannot let off the hook the people who didn't vote.
Right.
They are the people, because it was closer than it ever should have been, but people didn't vote. We had less of a turnout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So don't cry to me. There is no crying to me. I've done everything I could. Not my fault.
Yep.
I have done everything I could. And all I can do now is, this is how black people have always survived in this country, all right? We're going to have to find a way to laugh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's all we can do. We can cry, but at some
What
point...
a fantastic suggestion to buy LA Sexy Liberal today at sexyliberal.com and get re-empowered and laugh and take your power back. Only this weekend.
Right. That's the only medicine against this. It's humor and community. That's it.
That's why you think Donald Trump hates it the most when people laugh at him. Because we're taking our power back. That's how you take your power back. Do not stop laughing. Do not stop.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
And let that be your energy, your righteous rage come out through your humor and through your organizing and being there for each other, because we are going to have to be there for it. We always are. This community is amazing for that.
Amazing.
But we're going to have to try to really work harder at that, protecting ourselves and our neighbors and friends and community.
Yep. And so we keep saying, courage is contagious. So be courageous in whatever way you can.
Say it loudly and proudly. Blue bracelets are nice and all that, but the reality is you don't have to wear a blue bracelet if you're coming out every day and addressing this stuff when you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to saying nanny, nanny, boo, boo, how many times will we say, is that legal? Does it matter?
That's going to be on a loop.
More? Because, here's Trump's incoming administration intends to deport migrants to countries they've never visited if their home countries refuse to accept them. They're preparing a list of countries.
Just any country they
Trump,
feel like.
It's just the headline is Trump team considers illegal workaround to speed up key campaign promise. Right. They would send undocumented immigrants as part of planned mass deportations. Not clear if they would be allowed to legally work or live in those nations. I believe the Bahamas, has already said,
yes,
oh,
said,
hell
no.
no.
Thank you.
Aruba was on that list, too.
Yeah,
I want to go to Aruba.
We talked about this on the final word today. We need you all to free your mind of the constraint called, is it legal? Because these people don't worry about things like that.
No.
They just go do it. They don't see, we stop ourselves when we have an idea and go, but wait a minute, can I even do this? Is it legal? How will I get it done? They don't care if they do it correctly. They don't care if they get sued for it because they think they own all of the courts now.
Right.
They don't care. So they will do it. They will round up people. You wish they'd be checking paper. You wish they don't care.
The Bahamas said it had reviewed and firmly rejected the Trump plan, which is their way of saying "ya man, no man." So they're like, no.
But do you think they care? Be clear.
Yeah.
They're going to
be
do it.
Sending, if they could roll buses across the ocean, that buses would be driving to the Bahamas. Okay.
Be clear. Don't send these people to Russia and try to make them fight that war. Like, I leave nothing beyond these crazy people.
This is to our point again about modeling courage instead of cowardice. This story, Trump is counting on panic to achieve what his administration cannot do alone, keep the primary promise, the mass deportations of his campaign. In many ways, Trump is counting on fear to overcome the hurdles of mounting a mass deportation program. One expert said the constraints on a mass deportation operation are logistical more than legal. Deporting 1 million people a year would cost an annual average of $88 billion, and a one-time effort to deport the full unauthorized population of 11 million would cost many times that. Trump will also need facilities that have yet to be built, staff that has yet to be hired, compliance of foreign nations willing to accept the millions of people he's planning to deport who may not grant it, as we're just talking about. Trump is banking on fear, hoping that people without citizenship will be so frightened of deportation that they will flee by their own, this self-deportation that Mitt Romney used to talk about.
He doesn't care.
Right.
He does not care how much it costs. And it doesn't have to be everyone. They just want the show. The cruelty is the point.
Thank you.
They will just go around rounding people up for the camera footage. They don't care if they do correctly. They do not care.
I keep saying that. They just need
built,
they need a big dumb show for Jesse Waters to air on Fox.
Exactly.
It's
this
just
is the
cruelty.
circus. It's
the
the circus.
The idea that this man is thorough and that he cares. There are children who will never see their families again. Do we have to go back and look at the family separation policy and what they did? They don't care if it's correct. They don't care if they can't pay for it. They don't care.
But
they will
he'll just say
it and find a way to make money off of it.
Right.
Period.
As long as they get the TV stunt, then they'll just go, I did it. I fixed it. Everybody's deported.
And they'll just keep doing it.
And they'll believe it.
Volunteers. They don't care about legality or people's rights. That's not something that constrains their imagination.
My current addiction, Madam Secretary, just covered the child separation policy in the last episode I watched. And it was
How did Taya Leone
Taya Leone fixed it. That's how we could fix it.
Of course she did.
She's hot.
How did she fix it?
They won. They won the case against the governor of Arizona, whatever. But you just forget how absolutely cruel and inhumane that was, and it just the mind boggles.
And it continues.
Yeah.
Like, and they've never cared. They do not care. So we have to. I think that we do all this pre-gaming. Right? It's like, oh, well, this is going to cost this amount. They don't care you saw what he did to the deficit? They don't care.
Yeah.
And here's
they will
the other
privatize
thing, too.
it. They will make money off of it, and they don't care if it's complete or well done or efficient in any way.
Yeah.
And I have to, right behind what you're saying, Angela, say that Latinos voted.
Thank you.
In record numbers. The men for this mass deportation.
People with undocumented family members.
Yep.
That's right.
That think he doesn't mean them.
But I'm going to tell you something.
FAFO. See ya.
Yeah. They don't care if you're documented. They are going to round up people randomly and then not give you don't have rights when they round you, the same rights when they take you in when they consider you possibly not a citizen.
What's his name? The border czar, Thom Hobag. He's already said it.
Thom Hobag, yes.
That's his name.
He said it. He said, we will deport. Yes, they said if there's legal people in the family, deport the whole family. That's how we're going to get around
and
child
then you
separation.
Can figure it out later. I'm worried about my own booty getting grabbed up because there are several people who seem to think I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah, listen. I will protect you with my life. I will do the entire West Side Story. I'll start. I'll be like snapping my fingers.
When you're a jet,
a boy like that. Yeah, when you're a jet, a boy like that.
Choreography you might be able to do too. It's a little choppy. It's like...
Yeah. West Side Story's choreography was a little more graceful than what you just did.
There's a place for us.
Nice.
Somewhere. Okay, I will never let them. I will never let them take my Puerto Rican friend Angela V. Shelton.
Or your little Chinese friend.
Your little Chinese.
She is Angela V. Yes, this is Angela V. Shelton of the Puerto Rico Sheltons.
Of the Puerto Rico Sheltons.
Yes. You are so diversified on this show.
Yeah, really.
Look at you. You're on the cover of a Deep Purple album. I don't even know what's happening there.
She's in hiding. Frances is in
You're
hiding.
You're in some sort of lava lamp. I don't know what.
She's a genie. Many people don't know that Frances is part genie. She sleeps in a genie bottle.
Well, she's certainly.
Her daddy was.
She's certainly small enough.
Mm-hmm. Her daddy was a genie. A long line of genies. If you rub her belly, you can get like half a wish.
Half a wish. Half a wish. Half a wish. Okay.
I would like to marry.
That's the title of my autobiography. Her daddy was a no. Her daddy was a genie.
I would like to marry Tia Leone. Okay. All right. Half a wish. Maybe I'll get roll in the hay.
You should at least get to. To meet her.
Roll in the hay.
Yeah.
That's half a wish.
Shake her hand on some kind of reception line.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grant half a wishes. That's what I do.
50 minutes after. I need a youngin' to help me make sense of the world. Here he is, the magical Brian Tyler Cohen joins us. Yay.
Thank you so much for having me. It also feels nice to be called the youngin' because that's not how I feel these days, but I'll take it. Take every compliment I can get.
Yes. We keep saying that. Remember 3 weeks ago when we were all 20 years younger?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
New York Times best-selling author, host of No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I have to say, you were so great on Twitter because I thought this was a joke, too, that Meghan McCain tweeted, "No one's above the law except the president's Nepo baby is a hell of a parting message for Democrats." And you said, Nepo baby comment from Meghan McCain has to be a joke, right?
I mean, the lack of self-awareness really is a superpower at this point. Like, you got to give him full credit. You know, what I would give for such a glaring ability to just embrace the cognitive dissonance. It's, it's impressive.
Well, you were just all over everybody. I love Dinesh D'Souza, who just had to admit his whole movie is bull yesterday. He said, no one's above the law except my son Hunter, and you said you were literally pardoned by Trump.
I mean, where do you even start?
Right.
It's impressive. Like, you know, I titled my book "Shameless," and this is why.
Right.
I mean, like Dinesh D'Souza, Meghan McCain's posts yesterday are just peak shameless, and
yeah. Well, and also he said the real threat to our democracy is the unelected federal bureaucracy, and you said Vivek is literally an unelected federal bureaucrat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we can keep going all day.
Right.
It's,
right.
It's just unlimited content. Sadly.
You Judd Legum tweeted bad development for cash. Republican Senator Mike Rounds emphasized his support for current FBI director it's Christopher Wray to stay in the job, I guess. And you said a welcome development, but what matters isn't what they say, it's what they do. And no one ever lost money betting on the cowardice of today's Republican Party. I've said that, Brian. I'm not surprised by one of these crazy ass picks. Well, you know, but what people keep going, oh, well, yeah, but they might not, and, you know, they get through, and there might be guardrails and some, I'm like, I wouldn't bet on, against the cowardice of the GOP either.
We've been here before, too, where we kind of get our hopes up because Susan Collins is concerned, and then that concern gives way to the inevitable approval, and cut to we've got Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court. Right. So again, like, putting all of our hope in the basket that Senate Republicans will defer to their now non-existent integrity and just do the right thing, I think, very sadly, is a fool's errand. We'll take whatever we can get, and if somebody does opt to do the right thing, if we do have that faction, I believe it was Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, and maybe Bill Haggerty, who were reportedly the ones who were against Matt Gaetz, fine, we'll take it, but I think at this point it would be a little bit silly of us to rely on it or just assume that it's going to happen because reporting suggests that behind closed doors they're talking a big game.
Yeah, we discussed with earlier with Charlie Pierce what is the apparent furrowing of Susan Collins' brow? Like, what's the degree of furrowing?
That's right. That's like the new George W. Bush terror watch list levels. Yeah. Like, how furrowed is Susan Collins' brow these days?
Oh.
Are we at orange?
We have a like the old Homeland Security terror alert
the whole
threat.
thing, exactly.
Right. We never knew what that meant anyway. What does yellow mean? Bring a sweater? I don't know what. What do we do with the duct tape? I don't even know what to do with it. Oh, we have a Mitt Romney outrage meter that we had just for this occasion. Do we have any? Have we? All right. Well, hang on. We'll find it. Yeah.
Attention. This is an alert from the Mitt Romney outrage system. The Mitt Romney outrage level has been elevated from troubling to appalling. When the Mitt Romney outrage level is at appalling, take special care in public places when doing normal everyday tasks, such as operating your car elevator or grooming your dressage horse. However, it is important that in a Mitt Romney appalling state of outrage, you continue to go about your business of supporting every Donald Trump policy. Otherwise, the terrorists win.
All right, that's close enough. I mean, hey kids, it's the first match day of our winter pledge drive. Oh my God, look at all these fantastic frontline funders.
What?
The winter frontline. Charlene in Houston, Texas, Corrine and Kimberly in Sylmar, Diana in Santa Rosa, Delaney in Missouri, Jerry in Oakland, Jerry in Chandler, Arizona, Joe in Washington, D.C., Mac and Tiana in Colorado, Mike in Tippecanoe County, Indiana.
Nice.
Oh my God, on and on. Thank you so much. This is the day to give because everything will be doubled by these fantastic frontline funders.
That's right.
Go to freespeech.org/donate or call 877-378-8669. That's how you fight disinformation. I need a youngin' to help me make sense of the world. Here he is, the magical Brian Tyler Cohen joins us. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. It also feels nice to be called the youngin' because that's not how I feel these days, but I'll take it. Take every compliment I can get.
Yes. We keep saying that. Remember 3 weeks ago when we were all 20 years younger?
Yeah, exactly.
New York Times best-selling author, host of No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I have to say, you were so great on Twitter because I thought this was a joke, too, that Meghan McCain tweeted, "No one's above the law except the president's Nepo baby is a hell of a parting message for Democrats." And you said, Nepo baby comment from Meghan McCain has to be a joke, right?
I mean, the lack of self-awareness really is a superpower at this point. Like, you got to give him full credit. You know,
Stephanie Miller.
Yeah. All right, in today's edition of Is That Legal? Here is Zoe Lofgren with Jim Acosta.
Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy apparently will be up on Capitol Hill talking about their ideas for this thing that they're calling DOGE. The Department of Government Efficiency, which is a bit of a misnomer because it won't be a part of the federal government, apparently. But Congress controls the purse strings. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk and Ramaswamy deciding or trying to decide what stays and what goes in the federal government?
Well, it's illegal. They haven't asked to meet with me, but the impoundment of funds that have been appropriated by the Congress is unconstitutional and illegal.
There you go. Went on to say,
there is no such Department of Government Efficiency. It's made up. So good luck to them. I mean, if there is a plan that the President Trump wants to propose to the Congress, he should send it to us. But the Constitution does not permit the president to simply avoid what the Congress has done. That power of the purse is with the legislative branch, not the president.
God. She doesn't understand that they've taken over the government.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. The Department of Some Ain't Right is also not a government agency, but we will be operating.
Yes, we will.
It's we're going to just be in one constitutional crisis after another. I mean, and how many picks have already gone down in flames? We haven't even started yet, right?
Yeah. Well, and I want to remind everybody that Trump offered that nobody have a FBI background check. Yeah. I just want us to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Crazy Eyes Kash Patel will do his own checks. I love you, Frangela. SexyLiberal.com. That's how you fight back. Get that LA show just this weekend. Get re-energized. We love you, Frangela.
We love you.